How do you classify a good kisser?
Like, first, 15 liters of saliva is what I'm not trying to be around.
Till this date,
Yes.
you smooch.
Yeah,
Just
don't
like
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, when you're kissing me, put that tongue back into your fucking mouth.
Wait, you don't French kiss?
No, as in like we do the nini. Don't put your tongue in my mouth.
so that's, you don't French kiss,
What?
basically.
As in you're licking inside my mouth.
Yeah.
Ew, that's disgusting. What the fuck?
That's how you kiss. Nah, I even spit in your mouth.
Ew. Like, wait.
Frankie.
What?
I am in between you guys. It's not like I don't want to, but like, be hygienic about it. Don't spit in my mouth.
That's very
Like,
hygienic. I brush my teeth.
Afungua mdomo nikutemesa hii.
How many
love
enzymes
it.
I feel like as girls, virginity was sold to us was so overrated. Like, keep yourself for your man or your husband. But with the guys I've interacted, most of them really don't like banging shorties who are virgins.
Look at it like this. If I break your virginity, you've put me somewhere. You've put me somewhere. Like, this is my first.
It depends on the
And
girl.
I'll never forget you.
Continue.
And I'll never forget you.
Depends on the girl again. Continue.
With this whole virginity thing, right? Do you want the real one?
The real one, the first one, the first attempt to put the stick inside.
I was 11.
No comment. No comment.
Okay.
I was 11.
Next.
Now, how that happened was, I had a cousin. Every Christmas when we go family outing, she'd be like, do you know what this is? And I'll be like, yeah, that's what I pee with. And she'd be like, yeah, do you know what this is?
Three truths.
Underwear is overrated.
AIDS is real.
Failure is part of growth. No lie.
What? That was a scare. Your scare tactics are working. Jesus.
Christ.
Okay, anyway, guys, so since we're all traumatized, but let's first go back to... This episode is all about talking about who Frankie is and who Kalala is.
All right.
And who Nampera is.
And who Nampera is. We're talking about our childhoods, what made us who we are. Because we have told people who we are, who Nampera Christine is, but now we're talking about the foundation of Christine Nampera, the foundation of Frankie, the foundation of Kalala.
Yeah.
So we're going to go deep. We're going to dive into our childhood traumas, childhood memories, the things you remember most about your childhood, where you grew up from, the schools you went to, who has contributed to who you are today. So we're going to dive into all that. So I think let's start
Kalala.
Okay, where do I start? I think I had a very exciting childhood. I'm not gonna lie. Arguably, I have the best parents. I'm not going to say, it was not difficult. I was having a good time. I went to really good schools. Of course, kuna kule kuchapa. But yeah, I had a very nice childhood. I wouldn't say I'm walking around traumatized that, Okay, I think what I'll complain the most about is probably having parents who would not allow you to air out the fact that you're feeling like the other child is getting more airtime. Because my bro went to private schools, like proper private schools. Meantime, I went to shitty schools. I would even walk up to my parent and I'm like, yo, you guys went above and beyond and even got my brother to go to Kabarak, bro. This is arguably the top tier high school. But for me, I'm in some stupid ass shitty school called Kipsigis Girls, and while I'm airing this out, they're like, no, Kwanzaa, don't talk with emotions. Go finish crying and come back here to talk. Yeah.
This is your younger brother? Or what?
My older brother.
Older brother, okay.
So why do you think they did that? Why do you think they took him to...
I would say, the way I know my brother, he's those people who need a push in life. You know, those people that if the parent doesn't jump in to make that environment conducive for you, he'd probably just be an person. But I'm the kind of person you'd throw me in hell and I would pull up proper, not even burnt.
Don't you think that's a situation actually you have to know when you get there? Because it was either way gamble. They could have taken him and he would also because it's the same genetics.
Yeah,
Same father, same
but
mother.
my brother is not like me. He's, I'd say, complete opposite. He's silent. He's not loud. I would even call him shy. He doesn't talk a lot. He's a person, yeah. And then also at the same time, I really never liked my parents giving me a push in life because they would hold that shit against you.
Don't you think it's because that your brother is a guy, is a man,
As
and
in
you're a woman? That's why they're giving
him.
because he's like, he's the one who's supposed to come out and be someone, take care of the family, and bring everyone up.
That's
very how
man-like way to think right now.
But it is how African parents think.
Yeah, because they would imagine
They invest in the boy.
Yeah, you take your child maze to UK. You know, they get this amazing ass degree. Then
thank you very much.
Best marries them and throws them in Nigeria. So after all this investment, what am I getting?
Serious? Because I feel like it's the direct opposite. You're actually supposed to invest more in the girl child because she's standing so many odds as she's growing up. You know, the girl child has to beat so many odds. If your child is growing up and she's telling you, "Oh, I want to become the next Chief Justice," you know it's going to be harder for her to actually get there than your boy saying, "Oh, okay, now I want to become a judge."
But would you invest in a harder option or an easier option? It beats logic to invest in a harder option.
It doesn't.
Because it's easier to invest in the easier option because they get there faster.
It's
and
easier.
Obviously,
what? It
yes.
doesn't. No.
Obviously, the world operates that way in terms of men do get... in terms of, corporate workspace, they get it easier, right?
Yeah.
Women have a glass ceiling.
Yes.
So with all that in mind, as an African parent, you're definitely thinking, this boy of mine, he's the one who's going to go up and do everything that he needs to do in order to take care of this family of ours. He becomes the breadwinner. And then with that, he can now come and pull the sister up.
Yeah.
Really?
That is, I'm not saying that it makes sense, but that's how it works.
That's how people think.
You understand what I'm saying? Like,
that's not
it's not right. It's not right.
But it happens.
But that's what happens.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you have to realize, let's even just come back home. Most African parents, if your daughter is an engineer, it's good vibes. But if your son is an engineer, now you're like, I was talking to my son, he's actually an engineer, Like, there's more pride to saying it than to give it to girl child, and then now like, my daughter's usually a lawyer. They're like, cool.
Yeah.
When they're saying my son is an engineer, my son is a lawyer.
Also, there's this thing where African parents do believe that if you empower a girl child academically, they will get to some age where now, how can I say this? They're not marriable. You get? They're not marriable. Like, because you have a PhD, now you think you want to. So you see, beats logic.
Congratulations, you become the man of your dreams.
You know, I feel like, in talking about all this, yes, you're talking about the surface part of your childhood. But we're here to know who Kalala is. So we're not here to know how, schools impact on children and girl child. No, we want to know how your experience. Let's talk about from the time side reasoning that I have a loud voice, I am this. From puberty, from you going into the schools you went to. How was it?
So my voice broke when I was
women's voice break.
I mean, that's my idea of adolescence. I'm still waiting for the tears. So when I was still a young boy. My childhood, there's nothing really to say much about, but I would say I had it easy because I'm a fucking bully. In primary school, I'd be that kid who goes into guys' pockets. Not for looking for what you guys think I'm looking for. Like, I don't have boundaries. I talk shit. Yes, I'm little, but my childhood was nice.
That's what I'm asking. Why is it you don't have boundaries?
First things first, my parents are strict as fuck. They don't take nonsense. First, my dad will beat you with a belt. And those things where they're walking up to you and they're fungua macho. So it was a bit difficult to be flexible, but of course the strictest parents, they raise the best liars and the dumbest motherfuckers. Eventually I'm rude, I'm expressive, you can't tell me shit. And also they gave me that, and my dad Amishi Greece, so his mind is also not tight. He's flexible to, okay, so this is who you are, and this is what you like, and this is who you are.
Yeah.
So it really impacted me. Then my mom is also, I want to call her a strong, independent black woman, but she's married, so independent kidogo goes out the window. So she, growing up, at some point my dad was actually sickly. So my mom now had to be the man of the house. So looking at her, not taking us from private schools to public schools because of finances, having to do 2 jobs, and also at the same time picking us and taking us to school. That shit caught my eye. I was like, that's interesting. I'm not saying I want to be the man in my life, but it's been a situation where a woman shows you that you don't have to feel so
does your mom, okay, can I say that your mom doesn't take shit as well?
She doesn't take shit, but she's a very sweet woman. She's a Maasai, light-skinned, beautiful mama. So as much as she doesn't take shit, she has an element of softness to her.
It's kind of interesting because I feel like just the way you are right now, someone would probably think that, you were brought up with, your dad and not your mom. I actually thought your dad was the one who was in the picture and not your mom. Because you have,
thought it was the mom.
Yeah, you have a very, your ideologies are very sided towards the male
point of
gender. Yeah, so,
I mean, they were both present, but again, I'm a daddy's girl. So the better part of the time I'm hanging out with my dad. We're chilling, we're vibing, talking about things that happen. I'm not saying I don't have a relationship with my mom, but you see, we're the same person. We at some point we're going to
clash.
Yeah. So my dad, most of the time, he was not that guy.
He was understanding.
And then education in my family was not up for discussion. We're not going to talk about your failing grades. I'm paying. Amma, you want to pay school fees? I study. So those things, you get your mind right. They did a good job. Apart from the walk on slippers flying across the door, they did a good job.
How many kids are you again?
Just me and my brother.
2.
Yeah.
Craziest high school situation.
So
it can't even be high
can
school.
be anything.
So how do you guys start? Is it like primary, nursery? Is it nursery, primary, then high school?
I think nursery and primary are merged. Design. Yeah, then high school, then campus.
Yeah.
So
your high school is 4 years again?
Yes.
Oh.
So in high school, I used to be a stubborn ass motherfucking student. I got suspended 3 times. So the last time I was given an option, either you get expelled or we give you a punishment. So of course I'm here, I'm thinking to myself, man, I go form 4, man, fuck it, let me go with the punishment. Because in my head, I'm thinking punishment is like probably mop the dining hall or pavements or the kitchen. These motherfuckers cut my hair.
Wow.
They made me cut my hair.
Bald.
Like,
your school used to have...
no. like probably look like best. So they need to
nice
be like
fade.
a peep of... So the thing is...
For those who don't know how best look like, he has like little hair.
So what pissed me off was, I found that punishment psychotic. Because, so you beat me up or suspend me, cutting my hair. Are you trying to fuck with my mind? Because remember at this point in time when you're in high school, you can't wear makeup, you can't wear jewelry. So understand things like having long hair. That is something that defines you, you know?
So wait, in
Is that
Kenya,
why you're so attached to your hair even till now?
Yeah.
No. My question is, in Kenya, all high schools have hair. They allow hair.
No, it depends. It varies. Some schools do. Others allow you to play it. Others are like, no, cut your hair.
So your public school would allow?
Yeah, like you can decide to cut it or not. So this guys made me cut my fucking hair. Bro, without this hair, I'm ugly as fuck.
Are you sure?
I don't think so.
You look like you have a nice hair shape.
When we see you right now, you look cute. If you like pull it back.
The forehead. So I found out psychotic as fuck because simni chape. And the thing is, I was in high school 10 years ago and I'm still carrying that shit in my heart.
But I've gone through it as well.
As in?
I will get to that. We're talking about you.
Yeah. And then these motherfuckers would beat me up, make me kneel down for 11 hours. I will never forgive those fuckers. In that school, I hope lightning strikes it twice.
So public schools are the same as government schools?
Yeah, it's actually...
It's pretty much,
it is the same thing.
Yeah, it's exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
But you call them government schools. You don't call them public schools.
Yeah.
In Uganda, So your experience in... So public schools are not...
I wouldn't put it as public schools, that specific one that I went. And then the thing is this, it was those schools where it was being elevated from a provincial school to a national school. So I'm in the first national class, but my teachers are some stupid ass Kalenjin motherfuckers who have only seen the Kericho Muisho. You see? So I don't know. And then it's like these teachers had vendetta with me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Man, I really
When
don't.
you're when
African teachers always have been.
no, when you're
No,
growing up
that's
and you're a
also
loud
not.
student, when you're that loud, disruptive student, there is like a vendetta against you from all teachers in the school.
Because of the system. You know, the
Yeah.
system is designed to create employees.
Yeah.
So if you are creative, if you are loud, if you're outspoken,
Yeah.
you're a nuisance.
Yeah,
You're the problem.
exactly, to their head.
But I'm
to
getting
their
proper
mind.
grades, Mwalimu. That should be enough, G.
Still, obey authority. That's what matters.
Yeah.
Fine. At some point, there was this teacher I would never forget her. She taught me Siri. Smart was just cut from the devil's kilt. Because look, I'm walking around and I'm wearing a pink hair clip. I do understand that I'm not supposed to. What does mopping and kneeling down? Just do this and throw it away and we continue.
Will you stop putting on the hair clip?
I mean, it's mine, so it's mine. I'm not
If she did
distracting
that-
anyone in class.
If she did that, would you stop putting it on? Or
No.
did you?
Kalala, we know you know.
Saturdays,
But that experience made you traumatized enough not to put it on again.
because school was not exactly a bad thing for me. It's just the teachers and their stupid ass fucking rules.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the thing is, I used to be an entertainment captain, but I served for 4 days. I was voted in on Thursday, suspended on Sunday. Because the thing
Why
is
were you
this,
suspended?
the
Too
movie
much
that I was playing,
entertainment.
That's why you were suspended.
Like an oppo.
Sivo passe, not like that. Like, look, we're here, we're in school. These motherfuckers are horny as shit, yeah? And then this scene just has a guy just flashing butt cheeks. Now, as a captain, I do understand, now, forward at least. But these guys will cook me. Touch that remote, you see? So then the teacher asks you, what movie did you play? Of course, I lie. School was just fucking difficult.
So when you lied, that got you suspended?
As a captain, first, don't lie. Number 2, don't be in shit. Also, this movie, no. Yeah.
Pretty much, yes.
What
Yeah.
movie was? What movie?
That's what
It's
got
called
in
Hit
trouble.
the Floor. I will never forget this shit. You know that episode, yeah? Where the bass. And then it's not at a nudity, son.
You are. I mean, you're working for the people. Yeah, they voted you.
You
in.
know.
Yeah, you gotta show them what they wanna see.
Okay.
So do you think that? Do you think that limited you to want to go to campus?
What do you mean?
Do you think that experience of the public school, the public sector, that whole experience of
Wait. Before we get there, I want to know your first boyfriend. Because I'm sure you had a boyfriend in
in high school?
Yeah. And he was
Yeah.
fine. He was a tall ass motherfucker.
Yeah.
You have a type.
How was that experience?
He was nice. At that point, Maze, I was still young and naive
How
and
old?
sweet.
How old is
When we
young?
met this guy, I was 17.
This your first boyfriend ever?
Yes. No,
That's the first guy
forget
you-
about that guy who, when we were in primary school, the teacher is teaching and we're doing this.
Okay.
Not that.
Actually, let's go even further back. Because first boyfriend means it's something serious. Like this is someone that you consider this is your partner, right? Your first kiss. How did your first kiss happen?
Where I was kissing or I was being kissed.
Both. Where was your first
What do you
human
consider the first
contact?
kiss?
So-
You're blushing.
Take your time.
Damn.
No, it's just a very
baby.
embarrassing story.
Tell us.
So there was this guy called Melvin. He used to be my brother's friend. So he would come home to come and play PlayStation with my brother. So I found him, looks nice and shit. Yeah.
Shout out to Melvin.
I just
huh?
didn't know how to kiss.
Shout out
okay?
to Melvin.
And I would not say that I liked it because alieka ulimi. See, I'm not gonna lie. Me, when you're kissing me, put that tongue back into your fucking mouth.
Wait, you don't French kiss?
No, as in like we do the nini. Don't put your tongue in my mouth.
So that's you don't French kiss,
What?
basically.
As in you're licking inside my mouth.
Yeah.
Ew, that's disgusting. What the fuck?
That's how you kiss. Nah, I even spit in your mouth.
Ew. Like wait.
Frankie.
What?
I am in between you guys. It's not like I don't want to, but like be hygienic about it. Don't spit in my mouth.
That's very
Like,
hygienic. I brush my teeth.
Afungua mdomo nikutemesa.
How many
love
enzymes are in?
Wow.
No.
Yeah.
So I feel like so it was just
And then tukajificha.
Wow.
at
No.
what age was that?
I think I was 11.
That is what class?
11 I was, I think class 8, yeah.
That is
Because this guy was 13 or 15. My brother's age group.
That's crazy.
I like them big.
No, what?
I
No.
like them
How do you classify a good kisser?
Like, first, 15 liters of saliva is what I'm not trying to be around.
Till this date,
Yes.
you smooch.
Yeah,
just
don't.
do-
Like,
Yeah.
So,
Ni mnataka-
yeah.
I know.
so the right way to kiss, according to Kalala, is
Juju, like just the lips, something soft, probably a
No.
quick bite at the end.
Ah.
Oh, you are there, you are licking my
So
gums. What
Frankie,
are
show
you
us
doing?
how is your kissing?
Come, let me show you.
No,
Because wait, you've been putting your tongue in people's mouths.
Yeah.
and pouring saliva.
Yeah, you put your tongue in there, you bite the lips, you slightly, gently drool into their mouth, especially if you're on top. What?
You are those people during sex who lick people's ears, eh?
Also, you what's
Yo.
your problem? What's wrong with licking?
What?
Me not scared Didi, because listen, look, I'm not trying to do this in the middle of, like, what are you doing?
Nah,
I
kissing is very it's very sensual. Like you have to be in the moment and free.
No.
You have to be. Like, wait, you're the type, okay. If the guy eats you out, can he come back and kiss you?
That's different. It is sensational. So.
No, can he do that?
She's
You'd
just
allow
saying-
that?
Yeah, I
she'd
mean,
allow
that's
that. She
different.
tests sensational. That's what she
Yeah,
Okay,
but then
understand.
what are you doing pouring saliva? You know that feeling of kunuka mate? Unajua harufu ya mate?
That's if someone doesn't brush their teeth
No,
or
you're
is
not
not
understanding.
eating
Saliva
well.
has a smell.
Mm-mm.
There's a way.
Maybe if you sneeze.
No.
You know that smell when you
Yeah, when
sneeze.
you pass.
But that's not constant.
No, me, don't lick me. Put your saliva.
So my
away
question
from me.
is, when you're in public school, did you have
Wow.
like exposure to like porn or like stuff that is not right for a person that age? Do you have an exposure because of public school?
No. Just curiosity, bro. I remember as a...
To like drugs and stuff?
No,
Nothing.
drugs not really. No. I wouldn't put it on like public school or like I went to a shitty school.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just put it on experimenting. Because let me tell you, my first year interaction with porn, when you go and visit that your cool uncle and there's this movie called Nasty Things, but you're like, what's this?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't like
It wasn't
from school.
based on school or
Yeah.
anything. Also, let me tell you, growing up in school, I used to be those people who are scared, because they've told us when you take cocaine, it's like this.
Mm-hmm.
So when I look at someone even just holding a cigarette, I'm like, going to die badly. So I wouldn't put it on school per se.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You feel like
wouldn't.
it's outside.
Yeah. Also, I feel like I'm more of influence than being influenced.
Okay.
Like I'll be the
But
one who's
according
like,
Oh, you're the
yeah,
influencer.
like,
Yeah,
guys.
Let's go. Let's
Chicken
go and
Mzinga.
try this.
You see?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Also, if something doesn't sit well with me, always in influence. You
Oh.
can't. You
But
know
like
those-
when you saw the people in your year, the
Yeah.
people you were with, let's not talk about you personally because you have a strong character.
Yeah.
But like the people you studied with, the girls you know,
Yeah.
studied with, did you see that they were easily getting influenced into trying other things because they were in...
Yeah, because let me tell you, one thing that actually makes me this person is the fact that, you see, I'm still waiting for adolescence to happen to me, yeah?
Madness.
But then there are people who, like, there was this shorty, she was called Samantha. Samantha alikuwa na diabs, Fuck, no, this is
our Samantha.
Iroria, okay? so what happened was, when we'd go out, of course, guys in other schools would go to her.
Dabs are big bums, by the way. in case you didn't know.
Yeah, so guys would actually approach her first, give her attention, la la la.
Yeah.
So you'd find her, she's those shorties who, they have a bottle of water but has some cheap liquor inside there. You see? Because first there's the need to fit in, number one. Number two, in high school, you just want guys to like you and you'd be down to doing anything to be in that situation.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, so...
And the mere fact that they're approaching her first. and
Yeah,
stuff like
you
that.
see.
Yeah.
So those things used to happen, yeah, and then because it's like I
How is
remember there's
Samantha
some
now?
shorty. I don't know. I've not spoken to her for a minute.
Samantha.
There was some shorty man we were chilling on Saturday. It was called Mbatia. We're chilling morning preps. She's like, yes. I'm like, what do you mean yes? Why are you happy? She's like, I've had my period. I'm like, wait, you guys having sex? So those situations where when we go home for holiday, somebody comes back, they're probably pregnant or they've been having sex. I'm like, you guys are having sex?
Wait, you thought
That's
having a
wild.
period means you're
No,
having
like
sex?
the whole idea of being happy.
Yeah, she was happy
is-
because she thought she
Oh.
was pregnant.
Because remember
Okay,
at that point
And
in
they were
time,
in school.
at that point in time, as much as we want to talk about contraceptives, there was just some P2,
Yeah.
So yeah, they would get influenced and they would get into some weird ass shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I wonder what happened. I hope
I
they're
feel
happy.
like it comes back to where you've been raised from. The fact that
Pana, the need to fit in is wild.
really,
Especially to that.
That's everywhere,
The
especially-
need to fit in. And at that point in time, you're 16, 17.
Yeah.
are you sure the need to
I'm
fit
very
in
sure.
like conquers what you've been raised to fear?
Yes.
You think so?
Yes, because Frankie will come here and tell us, let's go take clients. And I remember that I was taught to be afraid of hard drugs that will get you addicted. But the fact that
Trying to be
Frankie is
cool.
saying it and the whole gang is with it, fuck my morals.
You know, I don't agree with that because
Eh,
when I was growing up, I became a Catholic in my P6.
yeah.
It wasn't something I was born into. So, being in a Catholic school, primary school, I loved how, Catholics used to treat themselves, how they used to present themselves, the order of mass, everything. I was so fascinated by how orderly they were. So I became a Catholic. So now going into my high school, there were Anglicans. And now that was that stage of now people, we're going to do papers. So they had this stage where people would start praying for other people. They have, this person is going to pray for me. And as a Catholic, we don't believe in that.
Yeah.
At all. So they'd have this, now because of that fear, they have papers coming up and that is the cool thing. If for us who didn't want it, who didn't accept to be prayed for, who didn't accept the visions that other people were having, they would actually sleep and wake up and be like, God has showed me you're getting 18 aggregates. The Lord has showed me Christine is getting, like, that's how crazy it was. Yes, it was so crazy. It was like a whole movement. And I'm telling you, it was wild. It was so wild. Students and were like 2 to 3 people who were not part of it and would actually come and be like, this guy is really, and they were calling us the sinners of the year.
Yeah.
They were calling us, all those guys are sinners. Christian is full of sin. But this is something I've grown up believing. You understand? I'm a staunch Catholic from my home. We have a whole altar there. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
It's not something that has just woken up in me. So I understand my roots of being a Catholic. No one can wake up any day and tell me something about being a Catholic that I do not know.
Yeah.
I've spent hours with priests, hours knowing about, my mom travels to Rome, stuff like that, to actually get to know, the
what's
roots
going
of where
on,
we're
yeah.
coming from. So all that, it was very bad peer. It was actually crazy. When I tell you that, by the time me, who's number one influencer, who likes influencing people, it reached a point where I was like, this is actually crazy. Where even your closest friend tells you like, Christina, we just come for one day. Just come, we're just going to pray a little. We're just going to do this. But you end up realizing this is not for me. This is actually not for me. And results came out and...
No, but why people like doing that thing where when it's about, you're about to have exams, now you want to pray. But if you've not studied, you've not
But that's human being.
not studied.
Anytime you're in a bad
situation,
situation, everybody's
you have
on
to
their
look for a
knees.
higher power though. I understand them because me, I was still praying as a Catholic,
Nah.
but I was not looking for...
Look,
You
I'm
should
not
pray
saying,
good or bad.
Yeah, I'm not saying
That's if you believe.
praying doesn't work. But some things are not realistic. Look, I know damn fucking well I've not studied for shit about fuck when it comes to physics.
You're failing.
You're failing, mom. There's no miracle. You are
Failure.
failing.
So you feel like there's nothing called like coincidence, nice coincidences that can happen to you.
That's
Where
coincidence.
In a situation where they're marking and let me say
Aye, please.
this man wakes up in a good mood and gives you extra marks. You've never had a point. You've never gotten extra marks on a paper you don't deserve. You've never had that.
Not once, bro.
You've never.
Not once.
It actually happens.
So
It happened.
what-
It has
what'd
happened to me.
What'd you peg that on? What is that?
You peg that on God. God is the one who has actually made that favor fall onto you.
So every single time you don't study, you expect God to favor you.
No, that's what I'm saying. You don't pray because you're expecting God to change your situation. No, you're praying because you're leaning your optimism onto a higher power, onto someone who you believe knows better for you, who wishes better for you. You understand? It's better than sitting there and you're believing in yourself. I got this. You wake up, you reach the paper, and you start getting diarrhea. Are you going to control that?
No.
And then you're going to get out for 45 minutes and come back and you have 1 hour and you start panicking. Or you're going to go for a physics practical and instead your test, maybe, let me say your Vanya caliper does not level, or you're going for chemistry practical and your test tube has like a former solvent and it's now going to give a different color.
Right.
There's so many problems that can happen when you're sitting papers. So
Bad
many
luck.
problems that can happen.
That's just bad
yes,
luck.
that's bad luck.
Yeah.
So if you want to prevent that, you have to actually believe in a force higher than you that's going to actually protect you.
And I hear you. All I'm just saying is this: if you didn't study, you're failing.
Yeah. I don't think you can pray that into
You cannot
existence.
pray about it.
Not every time.
Every time.
I don't believe that.
You-
I don't believe for the math contest, and I didn't. It was compulsory for all of us to go in P6. They paid for the whole year. And let me tell you, that's the time I actually realized maybe, okay, Christine, maybe you're good at math. You get, I reached there, I sat for the paper, because we're all first and we're getting nice food after that, pilau. So I went, I sat the paper, and I honestly didn't even remember anything about it. Until a month later, results came out. And even, let me tell you, even the headmistress was shocked.
I
was
was
That's just called dumb luck. You know, human beings just want to they always want to give an explanation to everything. So they find that it was this. No, it's just dumb luck.
What?
Yeah.
Things just went your way.
Cool. Let me give you an example of what you're saying. And I'm not trying to contest God in any way.
Same.
Yeah.
Here is a cup. Pray and let there be water.
Literally, there's
what is that?
there's literally a verse in the Bible that doesn't, like, literally tells you not to test your God. Literally.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But you are testing it. By praying for that exam, you're testing it.
Yeah, you're doing this thing where you're like, I'm going to be
Because
chilling,
you were
then I'll
lazy,
pray,
and then now you're like,
I'm not
shit,
saying
God
I'm
got
being
me.
lazy. I'm not saying these people were lazy. These people have studied for 4 years to go and sit their
come
paper.
on, ujasoma. You're just like,
Yeah,
you know
like
that
you
thing
haven't
where
studied, you
there's
haven't
somebody
studied.
outside the exam room trying to do this with a
You know,
paper.
right
It's
now
over. Time is
okay,
up.
if you're saying that concept of, oh my God, God does not exist. You know, there is a situation. Okay, not God does not exist, but like in a situation where your hard work is done and puts you where you're supposed to be. No,
Right.
it doesn't work like that. Why? We have seen scenarios where even in a hospital, when you're not okay, they are telling you, call someone, call a relative to come and put her back in the state we can treat her in.
Yeah.
Because your mental state determines so much on you.
Definitely.
So, but let
So
me,
much.
Your mental
So
state.
if you are actually praying,
yeah.
and you're saying, oh my God, what prayer does? It gives you that sense of comfort.
I
Like,
hear
you
you.
know what? We are in control. I'm not alone in this. There is someone else with me, and we're going to have this, sorted. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Now imagine you're in the state where you're like, oh my God, I'm actually here, and I have to get this
Happening.
done alone.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say? The difference is, that's why even the doctors, even people, even in a state of, because health is something you can't debate about.
For sure.
Yes, a doctor is going to be like, call someone, let someone be here and put her back into the
What's the main
state of
ingredients?
calm.
The main ingredient is belief, right?
Yeah.
Have you had situations where like you're
The main
feeling
ingredient
okay?
It's state of mind.
No, it's
called
belief.
state
You
of
believe
mind.
you'll be okay because of this situation.
No,
Because of this person or this higher being.
It is the comfort of knowing I'm going to. You see, when you're walking down the road in the middle of the night,
Right.
you understand?
Yeah.
If I'm walking alone without any guidance, anything, no touch, no nothing. I'm still going to walk.
Right.
You have a capability of making it. But someone who's going to walk, they have their dog and they have a torch and they have a pocket knife. Is going to have more comfort walking. They're going to actually walk slower and they're
Yes.
going to actually get there.
Yes.
The probability of them getting there is higher than you who is
walking.
bringing it on your own. Do
Yeah.
you get what I'm trying to say?
I hear
Yes. you.
That's where it all comes from. The concept of state
But those
of
are
mind.
tangible things.
Yeah, give me an example.
That's a
where-
dog, that's
how
a
can I
knife,
say
those are
this?
things which will what?
How can I say this? Look, I know, yes, I have cancer. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck doctors, I'm not even going for chemo.
Exactly.
Let's pray. What are the odds that I'm going to die?
They're high.
What are the odds that I'm going to die?
Very high.
I'm there seated talking about Frankie and come put your hands on me, but fuck medicine, I'm not even going to do shit about fuck. What happens in that case?
The odds are high.
Yeah, Cindy, same thing when you talk about having someone to hold your hand. There's someone who does not believe two facts in any sort of religion. They're just living their life. But this guy studied and they got 100%. It's nothing to do with prayer. It's about, did you put effort? Did you do what you're supposed to do? If not...
Again,
Also with that
we are
situation
back
for
to the main
cancer,
point.
also with that situation for cancer, people usually die from cancer treatment.
Yeah.
Not the cancer
chemo.
itself. Yeah, the chemotherapy is so
That's a
bad.
conversation for another day. But it's
But
better than
let's-
doing nothing. That's why chemotherapy came. They tell you the disadvantages. You know, like tablets like...
It's better than doing nothing, right? It's better than believing in faith.
I take Accutane for my skin. But if you... Like, there's this actual trend of I'm destroying my organs to get a nice skin. If you do not know what it feels like to have a bad skin, you're not going to understand the risk of someone taking a tablet that actually messes up your kidney to actually get a nice skin.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I get you.
It all comes from, you're talking about that because it comes easy to you. Your skin has been naturally beautiful from childbirth. You don't have pimples coming out every single day. You're not going to wake up with a swollen, swollen face. You're not going to have people face shaming you, skin shaming you. So you won't understand that this person is risking their kidney for this specific.
I don't understand.
You still don't understand?
Because I'm looking at what you're offering me.
Yeah.
Avoiding being, you have pimples. And the price is my kidney? Fuck, you guys call me ugly.
So then you research how many people take Accutane.
Like I'm saying, explain to me how the price of you feeling vizuri
beautiful
is equivalent to
because
you
losing kidneys.
You have actually not seen, because if you do something, you're going to actually see people who actually kill themselves because of depression, because people are making fun of them for their skin.
So fuck your kidneys.
Is that an alternative? Is that a good substitute?
What?
Yeah.
Because the thing is that every medicine, even Panadol, has side effects.
For sure.
Definitely.
Every medicine.
I mean,
has
drugs.
Yes.
But then what they're trying to offer you is that quick solution, because the painkillers you're taking are supposed to give you that relief so that you can work.
For sure. Yeah.
You understand? It's like saying, I'm not going to take pain. It's like the people say, I'm not going to take medicine for my cramps because
it's natural.
It's a natural gift from God. I want you to feel a natural process. I want to give birth well.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand how they be reasoning, because it's like, you've actually been given us, God put us here to create solutions to problems that are there every single day. This is a problem. You actually have a problem. You're saying that, yes, blood is supposed to come out, but is it supposed to actually hurt?
Yeah.
The people who are actually having it without the pain,
For sure.
are they not human beings?
Yeah.
Are they robots? They are actual human beings. You who has the pain, you have a problem. You just don't know what it is. Until you find out what it is, take the pain killers. You're not going to sacrifice 3 days in a whole month every single year.
I disagree with that, because also it depends on what your beliefs are. Because at the end of the day, look at it like this: the pharmaceutical industry is there to generate money.
For sure.
So you're not guaranteed that whatever you're taking is actually good for you. How do you prove it is good for you?
How do you
know that it's going to do more damage than not?
Good for you.
What?
How do you prove?
Because it comes from the farm,
And
it
it's
grows, it's taken to the posho mill, brought to your house.
If someone who has survived on
what?
ugali for a whole month,
Yeah.
without eating anything, they're not going to have any complications.
Oh, for sure. You're going to be malnourished first because
Of
you
course.
need pure carbohydrates.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask
But you can't
all
just
I'm
eat
saying
one.
is this.
That's an extreme.
That's not an extreme.
Yeah, you can't just eat one thing.
I'm looking at
It's
it.
that same example.
I'm looking at it
No.
like this, huh? So when you're going for dialysis and now you're in hospital for 3 days
With your smooth skin.
with your smooth skin, what the fuck is what?
No, the thing is, obviously they're going to give you things to take that help with the side effects of the kidney.
Right.
You understand? It's like Ozempic, like all the medicines that are out
Ozempic,
there.
oh my God. When you can just, the same amount of money that you're spending to buy one shot of Ozempic, if you put it in the gym and your nutrition,
As someone
you
who
will
suffers
get
from
to
PCOS,
that goal.
Keep quiet.
Suffers from what?
As someone suffers from PCOS,
I don't know what the fuck that is.
Tell us what PCOS is.
Let me actually break it down for you, because I actually did a TikTok about it.
Please.
Because so many people
Please.
come with not arrogance, I want to say ignorance, because you don't know.
No, so for me, what I'm stating is the normal person who can go to the gym, who can work out, who can do all those things.
Yeah.
But you know,
That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about
80%
someone who has
of
a
women
condition and
have
all that.
PCOS.
That's
You know
not my
that.
argument.
Guys.
That's not my
what
argument.
the fuck
Okay,
is PCOS?
PCOS.
That's the thing.
stands
Tell
for
us now what PCOS is.
Polycystic ovary syndrome.
Okay.
It is a hormonal disorder that affects people with ovaries. Every person who has ovaries
Yes.
can stand a chance of getting PCOS.
Yes.
Well, how do you know you have PCOS? It causes irregular periods, excess androgens, which become male hormones. It's like your body releases so much estrogen, so the extra estrogen become androgens, and then it becomes like, you see those women who have like facial hair.
Who sound like men.
They have deep voices that they should have.
Yeah.
They have irregular periods. They have
Yes.
problems giving birth. They have
Yes.
cysts in their ovaries. They have so many. They have like weight gain, acne, hair thinning. Like, your edges easily break. You difficulty getting pregnant. You also have very bad. The acne that you get when you have PCOS is crazy. It's crazy, and this is not coming from something that just comes alone. It comes with cramps, very bad cramps, because you have cysts in your ovaries as well. You're going to gain weight even if you have not eaten for 2 days. your body goes into shock. And as someone with PCOS, it's towards that. It makes instead of it cutting whatever is there, it makes more carbs and you gain weight after not eating for 3 days. Imagine someone who goes through that.
Okay, so one other thing before you continue with your conversation, there's no one moment where I've mentioned Ozempic is supposed to be for women only. There are men who take Ozempic as well, right?
Yeah.
So that whole argument, I do not disagree with that. But don't make it a woman thing. This is a Ozempic thing, right?
Yeah.
These are people, everyone is taking Ozempic
even men,
to lose weight.
Rare.
Men are taking Ozempic to lose weight, right? Fat Joe is taking Ozempic. Apparently, Drake is taking Ozempic, right? So these are things which, for me, what I'm talking about, the normal person who does not suffer from any condition. POS, that's something that it's PCOS is something that I'm learning about right now. However, I've heard of it, but I haven't gone into detail about it. So I can't speak on that matter.
Yeah.
Only you can speak on it. However, what I'm saying is someone who has the ability and the money to buy good food, good nutrition, sign up to a good enough gym, why use a shortcut?
I get you.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Because that shortcut is doing more damage to your body.
Yeah.
It doesn't build resilience. It doesn't build a mental state of, I'm someone who values my body. No, you're valuing a look.
Yeah.
Because you're doing it so that you can look a certain way. You're not doing it so that you can function a certain way.
Oh, okay.
You know, people think working out and eating healthy means I'm gonna get 6-pack abs and I'm gonna be sexy.
Yeah.
No, it's a mental state. Like literally,
but it also
builds
has the bonus of the 6-pack.
definitely.
Yeah.
But do you know? I started working out when I was 16. Do you know when I got bored of my abs?
When?
By the age of 18, I was already bored because I already had them. I don't even that's not even my benefit anymore.
Yeah.
Is it
My
not?
benefit is here.
Is it not?
Sometimes I forget how I look. I don't even. I'm so
Frankie.
used to looking the way
Have
I
you
look.
seen your Instagram?
But that's because that's what garners attention. However, for me, I'm so used to. It's like you now. You've been built like this for a long time. Sometimes tells you, oh, someone can tell you, oh, look how your butt. Oh yeah. Oh shit, I forgot I had that.
Yeah.
Like to you is normal now.
It's another Tuesday in your life.
Yes. But for me, like going and working out and nutrition and all these other things, okay, I know we've swayed away from the childhood. But in a nutshell, it does way more for here than it does just by... And, sorry to everyone who's having issues with, PCOS and all that.
But we got this.
But this is the thing, Frankie. As much as I hear you when you talk about health and all that, for real, they really do give a fuck about how they look. Like they really give a fuck about the way they look.
And it matters if you're making money out of it, of course. For sure. Also.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a stripper, of course you have to.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so
get that ass.
Wait. I want to know something. Your first period. How was that? How did that happen?
Do I even remember? I think nilikuwa form 2.
Form 2. Form 2 is what? 14, 15, 16?
Because
16.
No, I was not 16 in Form 2. I think I was 13 Because I remember I got into campus at 17. Because Form 4 nilikuwa 16 years. Yeah. So the thing is this, first things first. In primary school, we'd have those talks about, when you get your first period. So you see, everybody relates. Now me, I'm that person who, the late bloomers. So I wouldn't say that there was a time where I was like, oh my God, this is crazy, because I've learned about this shit. I actually do not recall what happened on that day, but it was nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Also, I had waited for that shit for the longest time. Bro, being built the way I am and just experiencing life 10 years after everyone, there's some things that you really want to be part of that when it happens to you, you're like, okay, cool. You know those girls who they come to class with a big sweater because they're now getting titties or they're feeling awkward, or when they,
I am those girls.
Yeah, no, me, I've never been like that. Like I'd walk up to the supermarket, get pads, and I'm like, don't tie with the gazeti, let her hivyo. Kwa nani anyeshangi? So it was just
Oh, you're okay with it? Like it never...
Yeah, like... Everyone has gone through.
You were never like embarrassing.
Nah.
No, you don't know offense,
the fact that people are actually having their period, but me have not started. That was the embarrassing part. The fear of missing out.
Yeah.
Like, I can see people crying about crumbs and not able to stand up, but I'm like, I want that too, but not like that. I want to be able to say like, so the other day my period, and then you feel like everybody, you feel like a last born, you feel like the child in the room.
But there's no advantage of being the firstborn either in the room, so speaking from my experience, there's no advantage of being the first.
Oh yeah, you just do it. What do you mean?
Being the first one, that means like being the first to get your period.
Yeah, titties.
Being the first to develop. You know what? Like in P6, we're like 2 girls who had to put on bob tubes, and you know how that you get sexualized early. It really has its disadvantages that are not pretty nice. And I feel like for you, no offense, Kalala, but I feel like
that's where the offense is.
Yes. You have a high testosterone levels. Yeah, your voice, the mere fact that you had delayed period,
no titties yet.
Yeah, no titties.
Till today.
27 years.
Till this
that's
day.
why you embrace it with a certain way. You're not shy about it. Because I don't know, the way you carry on your relationships, your day to day, the way you go about situations, like this is a situation, talk about it, talk to me. Like you get, the times I've talked to you, comfort issues head on.
Yeah.
So that comes from also the hormones.
Yeah.
So that should explain to you why.
Yeah, because guys don't usually go through a lot.
Because when a man is buying you pads, he doesn't actually mind holding them like
this.
You
and
like for them. You get, he's not shy about the whole incident, and for you like why are you holding my pads like that? Like you get
what is it?
So you understand that's why I was asking you previously about your sexuality, because girls who have higher testosterone have had fellow girls with higher estrogen come hit on them, come be like, so did you have that in high school? Did you have girls come?
I think even today morning, I'm sure it just gave me the I said, come
Like, you're lying.
It did happen, and it still does up until today.
So
even after this episode, some stupid fucker will still approach me after I have said I like dick.
Yeah. Wait, so how do you handle that at a young age? Now I know how you handle it.
It was just awkward, I would say first. Like, I remember in school, I used to have this St. John uniform. So everyone is wearing like a grey skirt and a maroon, but me, I'm wearing all black with this sexy ass beret shit. I'm even wearing pants, you know? Hey, this short is looking at me funny. I'm like, and then understand this. When we're young, when we're being taught about sex, we're not being taught the haptics about where to touch, who to please, how to do it. We're just thinking it's sex like this. So I don't know, why are you looking at me like that? You want us to kiss you? No. Also, this thing where everybody thinks because you're a girl, you're my type. You're not my type. Shit, if I was to be someone who is
into girls,
I would not pick you, bro. Just because I'm into girls doesn't mean it's everybody. Yeah, it would be really odd. It would be really, really odd.
So you didn't have a situation weird, where the girl actually comes and says, what, Kalala? I feel like this.
Some short used to be called Michelle. She would come and wake me up every day. Understand this. At 5 a.m. in the morning, I sound like this. Like I sound...
Got a raspy voice.
So this story used to be weird. That in Yongelesha, it's morning, talk to me. The fuck, nigga, bro? Like, it was just weird and awkward and odd.
Guruma.
It's the thing where don't take 20 minutes, like probably the better part of morning preps. So guys, we're going to start with moles. So like, I'm like, bro, I'm just a baby.
So you were in mixed school growing up?
No, primary, but high school, no.
Were you in boarding?
Yeah, but again, my parents really liked me. So in the later years, not at when I was a child.
How was that? Like, how was boarding? It was all girls?
Yeah. It was
Did you
nice.
experiment?
She just said she didn't.
Yeah.
Did you?
She was talking about primary. Now we're talking about...
As an adult now.
Yes.
I mean, yeah.
You did?
You did, huh?
Yeah.
I feel like...
And I'm in love with titties for some fucking reason.
Because you don't have them? Or?
No, tits are just fun. Like, it's like meat
more
without bones. Yeah, yoni matako. Ay, jegi. Like, what?
Again, girls, she likes dick like
no, girls are pretty, but no, not like that. Also, this is the thing. And I'm mchoyo. I'm a very, very selfish fucker. So understand this. If I got into a relationship again, I would be the guy that take me to Dubai, they buy me clothes. I go to work and make money to impress you.
Crazy.
Please, mama. Fuck no. Fuck no.
You know it doesn't work like that with, I think, women relationships 50-50. It's supposed to be 50-50, right?
I know. You're lying.
Women...
You're lying.
I think so.
Hakuna
I don't know, but I
chaicho.
think so.
Hakuna chaicho.
Iko na chai gani?
As in, I'm saying like, fine, you're both people of the same gender trying to do something, but you have to understand that in this setup of relationships, one has to be acting like the nigga and the other one like the shorty. And that's just the truth of the matter.
It depends on what level both of you are at.
What do you mean?
It depends on both.
What do you mean?
If you're both able to
Provide,
yeah. Why not?
Why not do 50-50?
Yeah, why not do
Doesn't work
50-50?
like that.
Because
That's-
If one of you can, then especially
but who
if the
usually
guy,
is given the upper
No,
arm,
but you know,
like
when it
take
even comes
the
to
guy
like,
should
the
be-
concept of the scissor,
yeah,
there's no bigger scissor and there's no smaller scissor.
oh,
one time.
it's just a scissor.
It's just like two scissors coming together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basic. I feel like that's how they take it. I wouldn't know, but I feel like that's how they take it.
Wow.
The number you're trying to reach. Enough about me. Frankie, what were you doing in UK?
Aye.
But we haven't finished. Listen,
You guys no. Me, I want to know
How
your
did
first
your
sexual
childhood
experience.
contribute to Kalala coming out?
My first sexual experience was annoying. As in, let me
That's
tell you.
what I want.
These guys sold us sex to be this amazing ass thing.
What age is this again?
I was 17. No, I was just joining campus.
Was it dick or coochie?
It was
Stick
dick.
proper. And it's
Okay,
like a
okay.
low
She's-
man.
She experimented.
Straight.
She experimented.
Put words in my mouth. Find some finance.
She's crooked.
So this is the thing. Kwa tunaambiwa mazee venye sex is fun, but I'm not gonna lie. It started becoming fun probably when I was trying it the 10th time. First, remember I'm
Wow.
a virgin at this point in time. So there's so much ni chungu. So just the haptics is a bit shaky. Number 2, getting to know dick were a bit and strange, but now that I've understood dick, it's now top. But your time was like,
Of course.
that's just it. Like there's no, oh my God, sex. Yeah. But
so that first one, that first
Was it romantic?
penetration,
Was it
how was it?
Planned? Was it
I was
abrupt?
dating this guy. The tall
That's
guy. I'm
the
telling
guy
you.
you're talking about, yeah.
But usikie msali nikulia lojo. Translate.
What does that mean?
Lodging. Well, I mean, it's better than bathroom.
Thank you.
But that's not where I broke my virginity from, though.
I know.
Yeah, and then that party Adam was a bit too, they made it look like it's going to be 65 liters of blood. It's not.
That whole virginity
lot.
thing, I think it's one of
Really?
the scariest things to get involved in.
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like you owe that lady so much.
for sure. Because I remember
Because you're taking something away from her that's so important.
Haven't you broken a virginity?
Yes, but
ask
then
him how many have you broke.
Sorry. Again, let me rephrase. How many have you broken, Frankie?
a few. But
A few is not a number.
A
A
few.
few may be 100.
a few. But I feel like it just puts a lot of responsibility on the guy, especially if you're not looking to commit to that person.
Yeah.
Did it do that to you?
We were
Did you
dating.
feel
You were
We were
dating.
dating, yeah.
Did you feel like your bond became stronger because you broke?
Kinda, but then also I used to use that shit against him all the time when I'm pissed off.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, you want this to end? Give me back my virginity.
You used, yeah.
Of
So was it
course.
actually a joke or it was actually?
I mean, at that point in time, remember I'm young, so
It wasn't a joke.
it's not a joke, but even you at the back of your mind, you know,
But
it's
even
something
chicks
that's
do that.
impossible.
Chicks joke with truth. They'll say something,
Yeah.
but trust me, she means it.
I know what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like a good concept. When you tried it again, was it still with him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when
Up
did
until
when
the
you
10th
experimented
time.
someone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then now I understood what sex is. Now I started cheating. You know,
Oh.
this is
Wow.
this.
So
So did you have that famous whole
This
phase?
can't. It's still ongoing. But yeah, I did. I would never unfuck any of them. I would never, but I did have it, and of course it comes in after the first relationship you had. They break your heart and you're like,
And you know they've talked about it so many times. Like girls, immediately break your virginity. I don't know if it happened to you.
Yeah.
You break your virginity, you have that phase where you just now want to
fuck everything
feel
that
like,
works.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you went through that.
I don't think I've stopped that. It's still going. We're still going. Didn't you want me to lie? Yeah, I've changed.
For real.
I've learned my lesson.
20s, you're 27 now, Kanala.
Yeah.
That was 17. That's 10 years.
Yeah.
Still.
My mom didn't raise a quitter.
If at first you don't succeed.
Yeah, we keep going. Also, talking of virginity, and I don't know. Frankie, you have to confirm this, huh?
Let me confirm it.
I feel like as girls, virginity was sold to us was so overrated. Like, hey, keep yourself for your man or your husband. But with the guys I've interacted, most of them really don't like banging shorties who are virgins.
So that literally, that's what I'm telling you. It's such a heavy burden to give to a guy who's not willing to like commit to you.
It.
Because look at it like this. If I break your virginity, you've put me somewhere. You've put me somewhere. Like, this is my first.
It depends on the girl.
And I'll never forget you.
And I'll never forget you.
Depends on the girl again. Continue.
Yes. Okay. So there are situations where like a chick will come up to me and be like, yo, I want you to be my first, but that's it. Like, I just want to be able to say that was my first and that will be it. But there are certain situations where like you're, courting a girl and talking to her, and then she's just like so smitten with you. And then when you're about to get into that situation, you find out that she's a virgin. And then now you're caught in two minds. You're like, okay, should I do this and just destroy her life? Or should I just end it here and destroy her life a little bit?
Yeah.
Do you understand? So now you're caught in those two minds. And for me, I'd rather destroy her life a little bit. Because now you're stuck mentally with this person damaging me, and you haven't even started your journey. You haven't even started your sexual journey yet.
Yeah.
And then another thing is, it's a lot of
work.
Bro, I have to teach you. Okay, now turn like this. And I can't even enjoy because 9 times out of 10 you're hurting.
Yeah.
Then there's blood and all that. It's not like I don't fuck on periods, but there's like blood and everything. Huh?
You
what did you say before that?
My sword is not afraid of no blood.
Okay.
So if you're in a situation where you have to like, you're literally like walking her through this whole thing. You can't be yourself. You can't be your sexual self. You have to, it's like you teach yourself.
Also mimi nilisumbua. Let me know like, bro, the amount of ngoja kidogo.
That's the thing.
Ngoja kidogo, ngoja.
That's a lot of work.
And at some point, because you see the thing is, the guy's not gonna be getting hard, chilling.
Yeah.
Bro, what?
He's already tired.
What? Virginity. Mnatuzianga hapa uoga na deep down mnaogopa mabaji.
There was a time where people used to like.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you rate your childhood?
75. I had a top tier childhood.
75 is crazy.
You didn't trade it for anything.
No, I would do the exact same shit again and again and again. Yeah, I wouldn't. I had a good time. I'm not gonna lie. You see, the thing is, most of these people who come off as successful or creative, you don't have to have a sad story of, hey, when I was a child, my grandmother stole me. Yo, me had a good ass fucking life. I'm not going to lie. Sensational.
So the bad manners are just from
Yeah, it's a choice, man. I'm not going to act like my dad is a professor, so I'm not gonna sit here and act like a professor's child, bro. I am me, but I wear the shorts.
Anyway, so we're going to Frankie's childhood. I don't know if all of you know what's behind the you're saying right there. So tell us, how was your childhood?
Me, I didn't have a childhood. I just appeared.
Please.
I'm a higher being.
You sound like all those men we see. Be different. Don't sound ordinary.
Different. So where do we begin?
What were you
Childhood
doing?
is a very wide thing.
From where you can remember, your nursery, where did you study? Where did you grow up?
So my early memories of childhood, I became conscious at the age of what? 6 or 7. That's the earliest memories I can remember. I grew up in Kenya, Nairobi. I remember we used to live in Langata. I went to a Catholic school actually at that time.
In Nairobi?
Yes. So after
You're
that,
raised by both parents?
it's tricky. So I was brought up with both parents. So there was my mom and my dad. However, my mom traveled because she worked for the UN at that time. So she was traveling a lot. So I was there with my dad. But then my dad wasn't, again, he would work late and all that. So pretty much me and my brother and my sister would grow up together. And then after that, a whole bunch of stuff happened between my mom and my dad. So I had to travel to Israel. So
to stay with your mom?
Yes. So I moved to Israel at the age of 11. Now, at the age of 11, I'm in Israel. First of all, I had to travel by myself. So that was a whole new concept for me.
Okay.
At the age of 7?
11. 11, yeah. So I had to travel to Israel. I'm in a new country. Rules are different. I remember even schooling was different. So when I was in Kenya, I was in a school called Serari. We had moved to Ngong. There you're getting punishment. You've been told to, those things will put your hands between your legs and then hold your ears.
Yeah.
Those are the things which we had to go through, get spanked and all that. Not even spanked, it's beaten pretty much. But then when I moved to Israel, I lived in Jerusalem. Teachers are literally like
Jesus.
taking shit from.
I didn't want to say that, but like
they're taking shit from students. Students are telling teachers, "Yo, shut the fuck up, yo, we don't want to hear this stuff." I went to an American school, so it was such a surreal change of things, and then also because Israel was Israel at that time, we were living in Bethlehem. Schooling. Yo.
Did you just, it's the Bible.
Yo,
Like
I told you,
Jesus.
Jesus is black. So I lived in Bethlehem, went to school in Jerusalem, right? So Bethlehem, at that time, it was like war zone, right? Because of this whole, Palestine and Israel and all this type of situation. So we had to go to school with gas masks on. Not on, but like in our bags.
Yeah.
We had our gas masks. I had a whole, phone before even phones were a thing. You're getting the whole satellite phone and all that. So we would go to school with all these things. And to me at that time, it was normal. The more I think about it now at a later age, the more I'm like, yo, that's so fucked up.
Yeah.
But we would go with this and then we were trained to listen to sirens and to know where bunkers are. So when you go to school, they would do drills. Once a week, they would do drills on sirens, and the sirens would go off throughout the whole city of Jerusalem. And then after that, you'd have to find, your designated bunker. And then that's when they're like, okay, cool, back to class. You've done your drills. And I remember one situation where we had a play in school, and I remember I was at the UN compound and I was telling my mom, like, today's a play, there's no classes going on, there's nothing happening, so I don't really want to go to school. She's like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, I'll just play around in the compound. The compound was beautiful, like it had all types of stuff. So I'm like, I'll just stay here and wait for you to finish work. She's like, all right, cool, no problem. That same day, there was a bombing in my school. Half my class gone. Literally. And I never thought of that situation. On the yearbook, on our school yearbook, we have a section on the back where there's a whole...
Deceased.
Yeah, like a RIP, dedicated to all the kids who lost their life and all that. And I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. But you see, to me, at that time, you're in it. So you're not really... It doesn't really hit you. It doesn't really hit you. But yeah, so that was part of my experience in Israel. Racism was very high within not the Israeli people, but a lot of the Arabic people. They used to be like, kushi, kushi. Kushi means like black, or chocolata. And they would spit on you and all that. There was a time they tried to spit on my mom and I went off and my mom held me and she's like, yo, I know it's pissing you off, but
how old were
they
you?
will finish you.
How old were you at this time?
That time I was 13.
And how old were you when the bombing happened?
The bombing happened, I was I think I was still, I was right that 12, 13.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And you didn't have like therapy after that? Nothing?
No, I was literally, I'm going through it. Yeah, like it's you know, when you're in a situation, you don't really think about it.
Yeah.
It's normal.
So they were like, bombs were normal at that time?
Yeah, you'd hear sirens go off, you'd hear bombs going off, you'd hear guns. We had a curfew. You had to be home by
so the bombs would
time.
affect schools as well?
Yeah. There was bombings in malls and all that. So you'd be told, okay, there's certain malls you can't go to. It was a whole thing. It was all crisis. So I remember it reached a point where like there was a major threat. Saddam Hussein had he'd issued his weapons of mass destruction. He's saying, you know, I'm going to send it to Israel. So a lot of UN people were told, you know what, take your families back home, and then you guys come back and work. So I was supposed to go back to Kenya for 6 months and then come back. But then my mom was like, there's no way you're going to stay out of school for 6 months. So just go to, you know, back home and just, you know, enroll on a school and all that. So yeah, that's how I came back to Kenya when I was 14. And then at 14, I went to Braeburn. Now Braeburn, again, it was a mixture of two now. So there's decorum, you know, compared to the Israel side of things. Yeah. Because everyone's not just free and running wild. But there was also some freedom as well. There was also uniforms. In Israel, we didn't even wear uniforms. I would dress however I want to dress. Yeah. But that was okay. Like that was normal. I was, to be honest, I was a bully because I was bigger than everyone else, and
you just look like
I was just because I've come from an environment where I've had to
witness
fight.
Bullying.
Yeah, and just because there's a lot of racism, there was not a lot of black people
in class.
Of course, so I had to be this tough guy where I'd have to beat people up to prove a point.
Like the bullying that happened in your class when you were in Israel. Like something happened to you.
Okay, it's not direct, but you'd notice in terms of, let's say like we're having games, right? Mm-hmm. And you see, you know, two groups of people, and you're told, okay, pick from these groups who's gonna be on your football team. Yeah. I was always the last one. Once everyone has picked, I'm always the last one. I was just standing there. And the funny thing is, I was really good at football and rugby. So for them not to pick me first was a message. Yeah. You understand? So those are the type of things that I would notice.
So you never had like a child actually come up to you and like try to hit you, try to take your bag?
Yeah. Or like
no. I was big as well. So it was hard to do that. Yeah.
Do you think that was actually one of the reasons they actually were scared of you because you were big? And you're African. Yeah,
because I stood my ground a lot. Yeah. You know, you can be big and still a pussy, right? Yeah, so I stood my ground a lot. And I'm the type to be like, what'd you say? No, finish. What'd you say? And then they're like, no,
we're not saying anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the more you do that, the more you realize people are like,
he's still the fear.
And I had a friend of mine, again, who was also black from Tanzania. Yeah. And we would like two nut jobs. Like we were like, we have to be militia.
He was like tall as well.
He was tall. Yeah. He was actually even taller than me at that time. Yeah.
What's his name?
He's actually in the military right now.
Again.
Yeah, he became tall.
Again. So let me ask. His name?
Did you have a hard time just switching schools and countries? Because I'm pretty sure, because personally I've never had to experience being the new kid in class. You're socially awkward, you're sitting at the back waiting for someone to come and say hi to you and make friends. Like, you didn't get tired. You're here in Kenya for 6 months, you go to Israel, it's fucked up. You go to UK, it's fucked up. Are we choky?
No. It's weird because what I used to do was I would enter a space and do the total opposite of what everyone is doing. Okay. And that got me friends.
I don't think that's what got you friends. I think the fact that you were tall and good looking. But okay, let's go with your answer.
But that's that. Okay, I think also my personality was totally the opposite of what people would expect.
Yeah.
Right. So even when I was in Braeburn, like I was the one to, you know, open up my button, have my tie hanging low, and people would be like, "Hey, yo, teachers are gonna." I'm like, "Oh, fuck that shit." But then now that made people think he's a cool guy. Let me hang out with him. Let me talk to him. I used to talk to all the girls.
So it was basically the bad boy.
Yeah. But you see, it was a persona I created that stuck.
Yeah. That clearly we see it until today.
It's a persona that stuck. But it helped me through a lot of situations.
Yeah. But you're not actually a bully. You're not.
I don't think so. Frankie just look like a bully.
Did you actually ever reach a point where you actually
beat up someone?
Bullied someone?
No, I didn't. Okay, bullying is different. Bullying is like trying to destroy someone's spirit, right? No, I don't think I bullied people.
Did you beat up another child in school?
I got expelled. No, suspended twice for beating up someone. Yeah.
What had they done?
Actually, it was a teacher. It wasn't even a pupil. It was a teacher.
Ring the bell.
You beat up a teacher?
Yeah. So there was a situation where like I was in class. So you see, that's the thing for me. Like I came with that mindset from Israel of, like, what would you, like, finish your sentence?
Yeah, finish your segment.
So that's actually how that situation happened. I was in class.
Vin Diesel mindset.
Actually, class, it was in the morning. We're about to go into class, right? So we have a situation where there's a boy who has a ball, right? And I'm trying to get this ball so I can tell him, like, yo, give me the ball. We're going to play with it later on in the evening. The boy, he's now, you know that thing of like piggy in the middle, where you or me, right? You're coming to get the ball, then I toss it to her.
Okay.
Then I'm going to, then you toss it.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that situation, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Right? So this guy does it a couple of times. Then I stop. I'm like, look, just hand me the ball and we can go back to class.
Yeah.
Right? This kid is like, no.
Come get it.
He's like, come get it. I'm like, cool. I told him, don't move it. I'll pick it up. He's like, okay. He tosses it. I didn't even look at where the ball was. I just choked him. I actually held him, punched his throat, smacked him. He went flying. Next thing, everyone just come, held me. He's like, yo. Can't do that, blah, blah, blah. Got suspended for that. That's a student. The second time, the teacher, I was in class and we were having a conversation about, the teacher was teaching, it was business, I think. And then the guy who was sitting next to me, I actually remember him, was a goody two shoes, like teacher's pet.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, and me, I was the opposite. I was actually the opposite of him. We used to have like squabbles because I was direct opposite of him. So this guy tells me, he asked me a question like, oh, what did he just mention? And I'm like, okay, so what he had said was A, B, C, D. And I just hear, Frankie, what you're doing is stupid. I'm like, huh? He's like, you're being stupid. Then I'm like, yo, I'm trying to, you're a stupid boy. I'm like, what? I just saw red. I picked up, literally, like I held the chair like this from the back. Boom, flung it. Hit this teacher on the chest. Bah! Went flying on the floor. I got suspended for that as well.
Frankie?
I was a wild boy.
No, but I'm listening to your stories.
Do you need therapy?
Frankie,
I was a wild boy.
Frankie, I feel like you have just as a kidosi.
I feel like it's an ego
No, it's not.
Teachers would
It's
call
an
me
ego
all
problem.
names, Baba, and even bare minimum, looking at them and being like, "Fuck, I couldn't do it."
It's not. You know what it is, and that's why.
It's being raised in Israel.
Yeah, it's a trauma coping mechanism.
Yeah.
So you have to, because you're literally brought up in a war zone.
Yeah.
So in your mind, everyone wants to fight.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So you're
You've
going to
actually seen
sleep and you're
people-
hearing gunshots, and that's normal. Machine guns, not just, firecracker type of, no.
Yeah.
It's continuous
So who told
gunshots.
you this? Your therapist told you it was a traumatic?
Yeah, so once I had that conversation, the more you unpack things, the more you think about it, and you're like, wait a minute.
Okay, now I
I was
understand why you went
battling
for
a lot of
therapy.
things. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but that's just something that, once you speak about it, you talk about it, you start understanding.
So
But
you
to
don't
me, it's
have
normal.
anger triggers right now?
No.
Really?
I'm the calmest person. Have I ever even said anything that's...
No, like, so if someone went out of the way to trigger you,
Yeah.
you would not hit them.
It'll take a lot.
When was the last time you were in a physical altercation with someone?
Last year, but it wasn't like I didn't like punch someone.
Okay.
But it was more of there was a guy who walked up to me and he was having a conversation about, he's like, "Oh, you're Frankie," and I'm like, "Yeah." I was hosting something. It was in Nanyuki, Nakuru, one of those places. Then I was having a conversation. You know, people walk up to me, talk to me, say whatever. People say crazy things, people say fun things, people say whatever, right? This guy walks up to me and he's like, "Hey, you know, I follow what you do, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I almost gave you a gig before." I'm like, "Oh, nice. You know, better luck next time, I guess."
Yeah.
I even made a joke about it. He's like, yeah, but this shenanigans of yours, you need to stop. I'm like, "Huh? What do you mean shenanigans? Like, what are you saying?" He's like, "Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, it's just the way you move on social media and all that. You need to stop this." And then I was laughing. I'm like, "Hey, bro, Cuddy, what's going on?"
Yeah. Who asked for your opinion?
Yeah, like what? Then he's like, "Yeah, you and your baby mamas. Like, what's the goal? Are you gonna get more baby mamas or what?" That's when I lost. As soon as he mentioned my family, that's when I lost it. I was like, "Huh?" Picked this guy up, tossed him into the chairs. The security came, they rushed him out. But it was just like, don't bring my family into things.
I hear you, Frankie. Is it that nijueni mbigi una feelingi unaweza fanyia mse shit?
No.
Okay, case and point. If you are Shaq's size, I think you know Shaq. Not O'Neal. You little
Shaq, the youngest.
Mkonde.
Youngest sponsor.
Yeah, would you be trying to swing or getting you as somebody who's on the social media space? I don't think that bumping into a fan or somebody who wants to critique whatever the fuck I'm doing would exactly trigger me or get a reaction out of me.
So,
you understand?
So one thing that you need to understand is the last time I got triggered before that, I can't even remember it. Do you understand?
Yeah.
It was, yeah. So you see, the thing is, because I don't think anyone has ever come up to me and said something to do with my family. Like,
really?
That's
if
the
you came
only.
To Uganda, you would.
If someone talks about me, I'm used to that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I'm used to. You could tell me whatever. I did a roast the other day. Guys were leaning into me. I was laughing about it because at the end of the day, I've put myself in this position, right?
For sure.
But if you are coming to me and trying to like downplay everything that I'm doing and downplay, you
everything
know, this is my family. This is people have invested my time, my money, my effort in, and then you're just making it sound like it's
chatting shit.
It's entertainment or it's part of, you know, your jokes. Then of course I have a problem with that.
So Will Smith, basically.
Literally. Literally. You see Will Smith? That's actually the perfect example. It was a point where it's like, yo, enough is enough. Will Smith is not a violent person.
Yeah.
Will Smith, you've never heard he's a charming, nice guy. But it reaches a point where you're like, yo, man, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. You get? Yeah. So, and it doesn't, sometimes you're just caught in the crossfires. Like, you know, Chris Rock was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. Because his joke wasn't that crazy. But he just had enough.
But the internet had overdone it.
Yeah, he just had enough.
So how did this aspect of growing up and changing schools affect your relationships and your love life while growing up? First of all, when did you break your virginity? When is your first relationship?
Guys can break that.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah, when is your first time being intimate with a girl? Your first kiss? I want to know all these gist.
First kiss. Hey, first kiss was when?
You've been kissing?
I kiss a lot, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But with this whole virginity thing, right? Do you want the real one?
The real one, the first one, the first attempt to put the stick inside.
So, this is a crazy topic. I was 11.
No comment. No comment.
Okay.
I was 11.
Next.
Now, how that happened was, I had a cousin. Every Christmas when we go family outing, she'd be like, do you know what this is? And I'll I'd be like, yeah, that's what I pee with. And she'd be like, yeah, do you know what this is? Touch. Take my hand, put it there. And that was actually my first time having sex. I remember the first time I came was painful.
What do you mean?
How old was your cousin?
Has to be older.
I think she was like 16.
And you were 11?
Mm-hmm.
Dear cousin.
Wait,
What?
Ngoja. Ati felt what?
Painful because I wasn't, like, you're 11. You're not built to do that stuff at that time.
But you consented to this.
How am I consenting at 11?
Yeah, because yeah. Someone who's 11, they're not in a state
Yeah.
of mind where they
I
can
don't
say
want
this.
to believe.
I was a child.
No, but I
pretty
think
much.
This is
I've had these stories with guys a lot.
I have as well.
Where it's either the cousin,
Yeah.
or some house
The
help,
neighbor.
Yeah.
or the neighbor, or the caretaker's wife, and it's always a shorty who's older than them. It's
Yeah.
never a shorty who's younger
Yeah.
than them.
And
So
they
that
say
was-
men are
And
the
then-
and men are the
And I
villains.
remember when I came, it was like clear. It was like water, but it hurt like crazy. That's all I remember.
God.
No,
Again, have you gone for therapy? I'm sorry.
Not really. Like, to be honest, I think I locked off that side of my memories. I can't even remember who the cousin was. Facts.
Everybody remembers
You know you
their
were
first.
assaulted, right? That's
And
not right, right?
Well, now I do, but
So do you tell this? Okay, this is a very corny question, but like,
Mhm.
do you tell these stories to girls as well? This explains why they fall
mean,
for you easily.
I'm telling the whole world right now.
Because like
You want to fix me?
They feel like they'll want to hold you and comfort you and make you
Yeah.
feel like it's not all bad out there. Because this is crazy.
I don't know how you look at it like that, because you see the thing is this, if roles reversed and you should be young, we'd need something to do with consent. But most of the guys, when I hear their stories, they were young, and
Yeah.
it's something that they're not exactly proud of, but they're also not traumatized about.
I think that's the craziest part of it, because you'd find that a lot of like young men who've gone through such ordeals, they like it's like a cool thing.
It's a flex.
Yeah, like it's a flex.
Yeah.
But
It's
to me,
not
I
right.
didn't see it like a flex, because I was just I don't.
But
I'm so
sour.
numb to it. It's crazy.
But you see, the thing is this, you might not look at it as a flex, but it's also not something that you're walking this life sulking about, feeling like, Mazia, as a child, I was assaulted.
Because
No,
I don't know if you're understanding what I'm saying.
However, I would say I think it has affected me.
In terms of Ajay.
I don't know
I
how,
see it,
but
I see
I
it.
know
I
there's
see it so
there's
well.
something that it's done. There has to be. That's such an early age.
I actually have a friend who went through the exact same scenario, and his lifestyle is so similar to Frankie's lifestyle. And it explains so much. Do
Crazy.
you understand what I'm trying to say? It's just because men are not in touch with their emotions. If it had happened to a girl who's in touch with her emotions, she's going to feel traumatized for a very long time.
Yeah.
Men are less. If you throw a surprise birthday party for a man and you invest your energy and it's just a beautiful room with cake and stuff, and he walks in, he's going to love it in the moment. 1 year later, ask him about your best birthday ever, and if you
won't
think
even
he's going to think it's
He's
about the
forgotten
balloons
everything.
and stuff. You get what I'm trying to
I
say?
hear
The
you.
fact that men are not as in touch with their emotions, they've been raised to be so distant from their feelings.
Yeah.
It's now that they sit and be like, she just helped me either way. I wanted it. I didn't say no. I could have said no, but I didn't say no. So I just went. But it's not right.
I
If it
hear
had
that
happened
it's
to a
not
girl,
right part, but you see what you don't understand is, and I don't want to put it like in a perspective of boy child and not being able to go through assault. It's like this, if me and Frankie decide to fuck today, it's more of him fucking me and not the other way around.
Yeah.
Sijui ka unaningam.
Yeah.
So with the guy,
I feel like
it's
both
something
ways,
that
so.
yes, they're young and it can be classified as something traumatizing, but in their heads it's not exactly playing like that. Because there's a friend of mine who told me he lost his virginity to the caretaker's wife, and he was, I think, 15. You get, but in his head he's not like, So when I was 15, you see what I'm saying? For sure, it would be something where it's personal for me. I was still young, la 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 la. But for guys, it's not exactly the same. It's not.
I feel like it's not the same because of exactly what I've explained. They have been raised and trained to detach reality from the emotions.
Yeah.
You understand? As when a boy is growing up, they're telling him, stop crying. You get, he has fallen down, they're telling him, why are you crying like that? Be a man. Grow up. You get what I'm trying to say? They are going to raise him to be like, if you're fallen, get up and keep running. You get? As a girl, if she starts crying, they're going to be like,
Mama.
oh my baby.
Yeah.
Oh, come I carry. And they're going to carry her and they're going to nurse that one until it heals and they'll let her walk again.
For sure.
They'll be like, you know what, don't even walk there. You fell last time.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say? So now first she's going to be realized if something wrong happens, it has to be treated before I can move on.
For sure.
Well, a boy is going to grow up thinking, if something wrong has happened, brush it off and keep running.
Yeah.
So that's how he's taking it because the same body count. He's going to count you when he's saying, I've slept with this girl.
For sure.
It's the same thing as you're going to count him when you're saying, I've slept with this man. So there's no difference from what Frankie went through and what another girl is going to go through at 11 years old.
Yeah.
If it was a houseboy, it would be a different story. In that alternative, it's like, I feel like because why women raise their children in that format of if my girl falls down, I'm going to, nurse her. Not like I'm defending it because if you raise your child in a military, if you raise a girl in a military, she's going to be strong as fuck.
Iron fist.
She can conquer anything. You get? But if you raise her, because in a way they already see that women are going to suffer nevertheless.
Yeah.
Why am I going to start making her suffer from a young age? She's going to grow up and be a mom. She's going to grow up and suffer. So at this age, let me make her feel like your childhood is
sweet.
Sweet.
No, but
to me, that's how I feel like. That's how mothers go about it.
This is the thing. At the end of the day, Pia, this thing where you want to dekeza your child doesn't exactly make them the strong. Let me tell you, in real life, outside those doors, life is a bitch. And if your child is there thinking that first things first, life has to align with whatever they want and how they want it to happen, Baba, the minute they step out into real life, they're fucked.
Really?
Now you understand, like they don't know how to be strong about it. So why is it that you find a mistake when you tell young boys, get up and keep running? Get up and, because let me tell you, I'm not going to lie. As the African woman that it's playing in my head, me as a man, why are you crying?
Yeah.
For sure, I'm not going to lie. I do understand the whole idea of depression. Men are going through a lot. Men never talk, and it's fine. They should actually talk and keep speaking. But I'm not about to be in a relationship with Frankie and he's crying every day.
But also that,
please,
also that
you can't be crying every day.
So you,
I in growing up, I like studying the anatomy. I like animals. I like studying how human beings behave. So when you get to know estrogen and testosterone, what they contribute and everything. Yeah. So if I have a partner, a man who's overcrying, I'm going to be like, your estrogen levels might have been.
Wait, so there's a time.
A little bit high.
There's a time limit. There's a time limit to how much a man can hurt.
No, it's just like testosterone naturally in its element. Testosterone is not supposed to give you emotion. You get? Testosterone is not supposed to give you, as even if you've seen these transgenders, if you've looked at their stories, when they start taking testosterone shots, they're going to tell you how it has been different for them.
Yes.
They're not going to be there and something happens to them and they're crying. And if you've seen these men who take the estrogen shots, they're going to be like, is this what you guys go through? Because why am I crying at a TV channel? Why am I crying at a TV show? Why am I crying because my cat has just eaten? There's some chick called Nikita Dragon. She started taking her estrogen shots. I watched her journey when I was growing up.
Yeah.
And it was so crazy because I was like, she documented it all on Snap and stuff like that. She had her own show. And she was talking about how estrogen shots, she'll be like, oh my God, guys. And this is now, she's just like, guys, do you know what has just happened? So I was coming in and you get what I'm trying to say? Yeah. And it's just like, this was not how she was before.
Yeah.
If you watch the previous episodes, this is not her.
Yeah.
Okay, him.
Yeah.
But him. I think it's a her right now.
Them.
Her. Them.
They.
Sorry. This is not how she was before. But you're seeing what the actual hormones. This is literally biologically made. The reels have been reached from the beginning, from the creator. You get what I'm trying to say? The hormones that have been injected in her, that she injects in herself every single month, which are very expensive, are bringing what she's feeling. Yes, you get? Yes. So as a woman who has a lot of estrogen, you can be there and you're crying. Then you've seen girls who cry about every single thing. It's not something they can sit down and control. But if a man has high testosterone, he's not going to be there and he'll want to cry. He'll actually be there and he has lost his mom and you can see he's dying.
Yeah.
He's actually hurting. This man is broken. But you're not seeing a tear shed from his eye. You get what I'm trying to say?
Real
It
black
comes from the hormones inside the body.
Definitely, but
It's not something you can control. So why are you trying to understand something you can't control? It's like saying, but why does the heart have all these, veins? Why does it have for
Chambers.
for chambers?
so you'd think lesser of him if he was to
No, I
cry.
wouldn't. I would understand the fact that the same way I understand girls who have high testosterone and be like, this girl just she's not being emotional as
those
emotional as
days.
me
Yeah.
because she just has high testosterone. She's going to be like, no, move. You get? I'm going to understand that.
Yeah.
You get? I'm not going to be like she's not a girl because she's
No, but also at
Interesting.
the same time, let me tell you, nobody wants to date a bitch ass nigga. Like, look,
And
There
nobody
are
wants to
actually
be a
girls
bitch
who
ass
want to
nigga.
date a bitch ass
Ooh,
nigga.
okay,
You,
no. I'm saying in
you
terms
have
of Ati
dated
Frankie's
bitch ass
crying
niggas.
all the time. Frankie's crying all the time. Like, look.
So you think your partner who you leave home to watch TV and you come out and make money is not going to cry when you try to dump him now?
why you cry?
The man you've left home, whose ego
But I
you're
thought that's what you want.
When kukudarau kutulia ni kudarau. I'm saying this, Frankie. Fine, today you're having stress, man. Shit, you just got laid off and your dad passed on. You know.
Yes.
That's a day where I'll stand with you, shit, for even a week.
Yeah.
But then you always want us to talk, our feelings, we get to know. Bro, I'm going to need the man to come out of you.
At one point.
Like, I don't want to listen to all your problems when you're crying about
What if he
them.
decides to say the exact same thing? He's like, you know what, you go work, but I'm going to need the
Mini
female to
them.
come out of you. Come cook for me.
Mini
Come give
them.
birth for me.
Mini them. Mini them.
So you would do it?
Do what? The crying?
Yeah, do the
No,
cooking,
the
giving birth,
feminine stuff.
the feminine stuff.
Bro.
So why are you forcing him to be
That's the
masculine?
thing.
I
You
got the
can't-
money. Where is your money?
No.
Like you got the balls. So where are your balls?
So why are you crying like a fucking bitch?
You see, the issue
What
is
are you crying about?
listen, the issue is
Yeah, Joto.
as a man, right?
Mm-hmm.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't, right?
Yeah.
If a guy is here crying and telling you all his problems,
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, the woman's gonna look at him differently.
For sure.
No matter how she tells you, oh, come and tell me whatever it is that's bothering you and blah, 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 blah and all that. Never.
No. It's
I
a
tell you, never.
Don't fall for it.
Open up to a woman.
No, it's
Never,
women
ever.
Are different women. They're different women.
No, and flip side of that,
Yeah.
if you don't talk about it, then obviously she'll come to you and say, oh, you never speak to me, you don't
Yeah.
trust me, you don't love me, you don't confide in me.
Yeah.
Now it's a problem on top of that. So for you, the best thing you can do is
50-50.
put on a face,
Suck it
put
up.
on a mask,
if-
suck it up.
Even when a man is crying, what do you do this?
That's the
What do you
thing.
want me
He
to do?
literally lies on your laps. You're like, it's okay, baby.
Hey.
It's okay, my love.
It's okay.
Welcome
What?
We're going to
It's-
conquer.
Ain't no way.
Hey, wash your face and go to work.
There will come a time when you're arguing with him and be like, yeah, that's why you were crying like a bitch that day. Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Trust me, women will weaponize
Because
anything.
Let me tell you, I've dated somebody who would actually like have emotions like I feel like I need the row, and they'd cry. And this time, I'm seeing the guy crying, but at the back of my mind, I'm like, what the fuck is this nigga doing?
There you go.
What the fuck is this nigga doing? What the fuck are you crying about?
First of all, this
Yeah,
is a
I'm there
very
doing
wrong
this thing, yeah.
mentality.
But then deep down, I'm like, fuck nigga. Bro, you've been circumcised and you're crying over this shit. This is nothing.
And then you're going to judge men who are going to see you, let me say a trait that is mostly known for men, snoring.
Yeah.
In case you have the bad habit of snoring and he's going to be like, what the fuck? What's wrong with this chick? And she's
No,
going to
men
actually
don't
get out of the
function
bed and be
like
like, what's wrong with this girl? Why is she snoring like a man? Or why is she waking up in the morning and talking to me like, hey,
I
beautiful.
have sinuses.
Men don't function like that. Men don't function like that. They're not going to look at you and be like, oh, you're snoring like a man or whatnot.
No, you're dressing like they do.
They'll just ask you to. They'll ask you to change. They'll ask you, hey, I don't like wigs or I don't like weaves.
Yeah.
How about you do this? Oh, are you gonna, fix your nails or whatever? Oh, he'll pay for your nails.
Yeah.
Women don't do that. Women look at you and they're like, this is not the man that I had before.
Yep.
So I might look for something else
Right.
outside.
Because you can't change a man back to the basics. Let's talk.
Men will
No, you can't
try.
change a man.
The
You
men will
can't
change
change
We'll
the
try
right
change
woman.
you.
No,
Like,
a
babe, let's go
woman
to the
would
gym.
change for the right man. A man can't change for nothing.
That's cap. That's cap.
Men.
So if I get a man today, let's use you as an example. He tells you, you know what, babes, I don't like big titties. You get them reduced. You do that because you're in love.
No. The same thing as a man. Because
Yeah,
you've
'cause he'll
met your
get
man
another-
and you're
he'll
going to
get
tell him, I
another
don't
job.
like your height.
He'll-
Will he again get
But that's something you can't you can't change that.
I can't change my titties. Why are you making me?
No, you can change your titties.
How am I changing my titties?
You can reduce them.
It's the way me I can gain titties. I go and buy some new titties, okay?
You reduce yours, put them here.
Yeah.
So it's like no, that's not possible. That's not possible. I can reduce, but you can't transfer. You know that.
Yeah, you can.
Yes, you can. No,
what's a BBL? It's a transfer.
You can't transfer boobs.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't. Frankie,
sure?
I'm educating you. You can't
Google that
transfer
thing.
boobs.
ChatGPT that thing.
ChatGPT it. Now, what are you talking about? It.
So how do I ask it? Can you change boobs?
Can you transfer boobs from one person, from one woman to another? You can't do that.
Is it?
Yes.
They're not just sucking out fat and then
and then sweet.
No, because like you don't know what a BBL actually consists of. Someone using your own fat.
Fat, yeah. From
it has to be your fat. I can't get my fat and be like, let me give her fat and she gets a BBL. It can't happen.
My bad.
Yeah. So the same way how boobs can't be transferred, right?
This being controversial.
So Frankie, let's go back to the basics, Frankie.
Yes.
After that experience of sex, how long did it take you?
I was 15 the next time.
So from 11 to 15, you didn't try intimacy again?
Nah, I'm a kid. That wasn't even a choice. But at 15...
But weren't you curious after the 11? You didn't have that, oh my God, what was this I tried?
I'm telling you, like, that whole period, I blocked it off. Because at that time, between 11 to, let's say, 15, I was in Israel, fighting battles. Yeah.
Can't.
I actually...
See?
Yeah, you can.
You
of course
actually
you can't.
can.
This is wild.
Of course you can.
But you wouldn't be podding if you said you can't. If I was siding with that, I wouldn't be podding right now.
No, as in sikuwa najua.
Yeah, now you know.
Like the way it can give you like a kidney and it's cool. Like why can't you not do that for titties?
You can't do that for titties. Why? Because this is fat. So from 15, how was that experience intimately?
15, I was back here. Because I was in Kenya from 15 to 16. 16 is when I traveled out again. So 15, I remember it was actually just before I turned 16. We were closing school. I remember there was a girl who came to my house. Not mine, but like
The
family house, where I was staying. And I remember my boys were there, like literally they were outside the whole time because they knew what was going to happen. Went to the bedroom. I can't even remember how long it lasted. I can't remember.
2 minutes.
Probably.
2 seconds.
Probably, but I've perfected my skill after that. But yeah, I can't remember anything. I can't even remember if I felt good or not. It's just so long ago. But I had a condom. I remember that for sure.
And the first time with the cousin, did you have a condom?
No.
Sorry. Okay.
No. I didn't have nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I remember when I came outside, I felt like Lewis Hamilton. Like everyone was like, yeah. Like I was this cool
so
kid.
The after
I was the
sex
first
experience was more better than the sex experience. Because if you remember that.
It was, the cool part was everyone just cheering me on. Like I just done something.
Okay.
And I remember we went to some stairs at Carnival, I remember.
She was a virgin as well?
I didn't even ask. No, she wasn't. She wasn't. Because there's no like...
Okay.
Yeah, there was no popping of the cherry there.
Okay.
But we sat down and we were just talking. It's like, yo, man, bro, you finally did it. I'm like, yeah. It's like, yeah, I'm the first one to do it, you guys, man. It's time to get you guys girls. Like it was a whole conversation. Like we were talking about it like it's such a...
So how do you guys talk about, how do you guys actually, I've always wanted to know, how do you guys have the sex conversation with your guys? Do you like sit and be like, do you know this is what happened? She did this, she opened her skirt and I saw. And she
the first time, that time?
Yeah.
I don't think like I gave details to that point, but I was just like excited in terms of, the process of it. Like I was like, yeah, this happened and then
so you didn't give details?
No, I think we just did it in like one position.
So there's nothing to say.
It's like, it was like...
It was not just to give.
It was missionary. And she had a fat ass as well, so I think that's where my obsession started from. But yeah, so we talked about it as the sun was setting. It was a beautiful moment.
So then after that...
And then after that, I went to North Wales and then the demon was unleashed. So in North Wales is crazy because first of all, North Wales...
That was for high school or you just...
A-levels.
A-levels.
I went for my A-levels there. And I was there for 2 years.
So you were here for Kenya, you came back for how long again?
2 years as well. 14 to 16, and then I went
You
16.
moved a lot.
Yeah. North Wales, I was there 16 to 18.
Okay.
Now, in North Wales, first of all, I was actually meant to go there on a rugby scholarship. And then I remember the whole process was so long. So my mom was like, fuck it, I'll just pay for you straight up. So she paid for the schooling. And then I was there on boarding, but also my sister was living in North Wales. So over the weekend, I'd go to her place. Now in North Wales, mind you.
How many kids are you?
Yeah, mkongapi?
3.
Same parents.
Sis, bro, and then me.
Same parents.
Yeah.
Same mom, same dad.
Same mom, same dad. Yeah.
You're the firstborn?
No.
Last
one.
Oh, mtoto wa mama.
Oh, boo.
Yeah, yo. I'm a mama's boy.
Yeah.
So, in North Wales, I was literally the only black guy, right? So this is the first time I encountered reverse racism, if there's anything like that.
You were
So
loved
I
so
was
much.
it,
The
right?
freak of nature.
Literally, because I had
The
cornrows.
Frankie.
I was, rugby, of course. I was built, and I was a rebel as well. So the things that I would do, it was a very posh school, like super posh school.
Yeah.
A lot of like rich kids who go there. A lot of good rugby players
This
who go
explains
there.
your car 1,000%.
Yeah. So for me, I was, again, like I told you guys, I would do the opposite of what people would expect. So I was the one, the tie hanging down. And then these kids would get, it was at A levels, you're supposed to wear a suit, but you can wear any suit. So these kids would have like designer suits, like Christian Dior and all this type of stuff. Because again, they're rich kids. I'm going there, I'm seeing kids who have Land Rovers and Mazdas, and they're driving them at 16, because 16 is the legal age of driving in the UK. So they're all moving crazy. So I'm like, okay, for me, I'm not moving like they're moving, but I need to be accepted here. So I would do the total opposite of what they would do. So they would get, the Christian Dior's and all that. I would go to this place, it's called Buttons, which is like the low level. I would go there and just fix up a nice suit, clad it out, but then now I'd put my spin on it. I'd do my whole twist on it.
Yeah.
They would love that. Hey, where'd you get your suit from? I'm like, Buttons. And then I wasn't shy about it. So they're like, how is this guy comfortable being average? You understand? But I made average cool. That was the thing. So then, now I'm in the rugby school. I'm in the rugby team. Rugby team, again, you're treated like, like in America where they have like jocks, right? So they come for you in between class. Such and such, come, we have a match. Then you stand up and everyone's looking at you guys like you're gods, like you're about to go for war,
Yeah. I understand.
Pick up your bag and you're like,
growing up I had a fetish for rugby players.
Yo.
It has stopped.
Yeah, it stopped. It stopped.
It stopped right now.
It stopped.
So that in itself just it put us on a pedestal, right? You would access pretty much
all the girls.
All the girls.
All the benefits.
Yeah, everything. And then on top of that, I'm black. So they're like, yo, we want to experiment.
So in
black guy.
What's the country again?
North Wales.
North Wales.
Wales.
Hey. So how many girls should estimate, not count, estimate how many girls?
I blew up my body count. That was crazy.
So blowing up means 100.
100 is little, man.
Yeah, it went. Literally, and it's not just like, obviously it wasn't even just like schoolgirls. It was like
girls.
And it's like girls.
Okay, since you've tasted both, so is vanilla better than chocolate?
I fucking dare you, Frankie.
No, boy, you crazy. Ain't no way.
Chocolate is better than vanilla.
What do you mean
ain't no way? Ain't no way.
Oh,
hey. You are about to give.
There's no way. But
vanilla would give
it tasted good
better?
Still.
Or
no, they were more committed.
It was easier to get the vanilla or the chocolate?
Vanilla, of course.
It's easier to get vanilla, yeah.
In North Wales.
Oh.
Because there's not a lot of chocolate.
But They see me rolling. They hating.
So yeah, North Wales was it was a vibe. I did a lot during that period of my life, and then I believed like rugby was my way out. That's what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And then
When did you come back?
I didn't. So when I was still in North Wales, I figured out that I'm having like issues with my knee.
Yeah.
So after every like match when I'd play, I'd have issues with my knee. Then I went, got checked and all that. Doc is like, yo, if you want to get a knee replacement by the age of 30,
Keep going.
keep playing.
Oh my God.
So the whole trajectory changed. So this was literally
Did they tell you the
just
cause of the knee problem?
so they said, I forgot what the fluid is called. But this knee doesn't have that fluid.
But
Usually
you can
there's a
eat
fluid
something
within
to
the...
get it back. I had.
No, it's not that straightforward. And especially since I'm playing an impact sport.
Oh.
If it's just like normal,
Chilling, yeah.
then it's okay. You can,
Okay.
there's ways to mitigate that. But if you're playing an impact sport, it wasn't going to last.
So you just let it go.
So it was
I had
basically you're reached because of your body. Your body betrayed.
Yeah, it betrayed me.
That's so sad.
I would
Did
have
you
been,
cause it? Was it something you ate?
No,
Just
just born with it. Yeah, I was just born with an issue with this
I
knee.
want to ask.
It's something you ate.
You know.
Too much pussy. But no, trust me.
Because what? So do you think that state has so failed me. That country contributed to why you're such a Casanova right now?
No, I'm not even a Casanova.
Don't lie.
I'm not.
Don't lie on a public platform.
But I think like it allowed me to experiment a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had, lack of a better word, I had a superpower. My skin, CC.
Oh, that's the superpower.
Yeah, it's.
Oh, I thought
it got
something
me.
else.
No. That's also a superpower.
Please.
But yeah, it got me very easy access to a lot of things that maybe at that age I wouldn't have in a different setting.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but then now after that, that's when I shifted. I went to Liverpool. After that, I went to Liverpool. So Liverpool, that's where I did my first degree. The first year, I threw that shit out the window.
This is all your mom sponsoring you.
Yeah. My mom was doing the most.
Mm-hmm.
She was doing the most.
And your dad?
She took me to. So the last time I saw my dad during that period, I was 10, 11.
That's how bad the drift
And the
was.
next time I saw my dad, I was 24. What? After that. Not 23.
That's 13 years later.
Yeah.
So when you went to Liverpool?
So when I went to Liverpool, I was there. Like I said, the first year, I threw that shit out the window. Like literally, the only thing that gave me structure was rugby. That's gone. So now I don't have a direction. I don't know what I want to do. I don't have, a career path. I have nothing.
You have to
So
set yourself.
I'm in a situation where I'm like, okay, I've signed up for business studies. This is something that I want to learn, but I'm doing it because mom wants me to do it, not because it's something I'm passionate about. Now, partying, of course, freedom, of course. I'm in Liverpool, which is like, a football city, which a lot of people from different walks of, the world come and visit. So I'm getting access to a lot of people.
Women.
Right? And I've honed in my craft. Right? So there's time to explore.
I don't know how Kalala is taking this with a straight face. I have no idea.
The thing about Frankie is because I would say I judge you with social media.
Yes.
But Baba, you've lived this life.
You have.
I've lived life.
Around.
You have been around. Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm so like you've left us speechless. Do you know what it takes to make Kalala and Christian speechless?
Yeah.
We are speechless. So
So
keep
hizi
going.
tabia za kichokora zimetoka wapi? Because in real life you come from a very wealthy family. Nini
Bro.
mapao? Please don't
Yes.
say no, we are trying. Just
Hey,
say
Daddy.
yes.
That's why at that time when I said I've never been broke, people didn't believe me.
Eh,
Yeah.
ekapata.
So is your mom looking to adopt?
An in-law.
I hate you.
Wow.
No, daughter.
In-law.
I am open for the position of your sister. I can be your sister.
I know. Asante.
Sister in Christ.
We cannot trust Frankie with close relatives.
Yes.
Facts. Oh my God, I want to hide under this microphone on Frankie's behalf.
Yeah.
Kalala.
Ni ukweli. It's the truth.
Okay, keep going because
So, yeah. I'm in Liverpool now, right? So that first year, like I said, I threw it out the window, right? I remember there was a day I'm sitting at my friend's house because we would party, drink, and do all that nonsense up until morning. So we're all sitting in my friend's house, smoke filling up the room, of course, is, Zaz being passed around everywhere. We're playing PlayStation, alcohol everywhere, high as fuck. And then I'm sitting there thinking, I had an epiphany, literally. I saw, the way you can see like the crack of the window, you can see light beam shining in.
Yeah.
And I was just sitting there thinking like, what time is it? And, I looked at my phone and I saw it was about 9:30. And I thought to myself, I'm sitting here wasted, playing PlayStation. I have class within the next 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I failed my first year. My mom's spending money, a lot of money, to put me here. What am I doing? And I remember that day I just put the pad down. Guys were like, hey, what's up? And I walked out the room. I just walked out, went straight to my room, to my house, packed up all my stuff, went to class, registered for a resit for everything, went back home, headed to town, signed up to the gym. So for me, when I keep telling you guys, gym saves me, it's done it so many times.
Yeah.
Not just once, not just twice, so many times. So that was the first time I regained my structure.
Yeah.
Because now I also moved houses. I moved to a studio apartment, which was like really nice. My mom put me up in a really nice spot. It was far from everyone else. They didn't know where I lived. So people coming to get me out and tell me, let's go partying was very hard.
Yeah.
It's impossible. You don't know where I live. I choose when I leave.
For sure.
And it gave me structure. I would go to class with my meals packed and everything. I'm a logical person. So if you tell me to read a book, it's going to be hard for me to understand that. But if I listen to someone speaking about something, I know how to digest it. I know how to break it down. And that's how I looked at schooling. So I decided, because I'm not going to be great at, studying and cramming and all this, I'll go to every single class. And I would show up to every single class. I'd have my meals packed and everything. I would eat in class. People would look at me like I'm crazy. But that's when I started really grasping what my life is going to be about. So I did that, passed the honors. But then I just didn't know afterwards. I just didn't know what I wanted to do. So I was like, okay, what I can do is I can get a master's. I can do my master's as I'm still thinking about what I want to do.
Yeah.
So, and also I was into music. I forgot that part. I have songs and all that. I used to sing, I used to rap, I used to do all that.
Us.
I can't sing for you, but I do have them stored and everything. Yeah.
You can sing?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, I used to do all that.
So how many songs do you have?
The ones that I have currently is 5.
They're on
6.
YouTube?
No, they're not on YouTube.
What are they on?
There was a site called Reverb Nation. I don't know if you remember. You remember? Yeah, it's called Reverb Nation. So I used to store. Yeah.
Because this
Because what?
Used
is
to
a
store
different
music
generation
there.
right now.
So yeah, that was a thing that I used to
So
do.
what
back
haven't
then.
you tried? Have you tried being a tattoo artist?
No.
Can you draw?
Yes.
Hey,
Draw, yeah.
like properly or like stick people?
There was a time I used to draw quite well, but I haven't drawn in a while, but I used to draw quite well.
So
And my son has actually picked up drawing. My
Yeah.
firstborn son, he's really good at drawing as well.
tell him I'm going to give birth soon.
Wow.
Umesema one way or another you're going to be able to Frank.
Because that mother has to be my mother. One way or
You're
another.
pushing the agenda.
She has to be my mom. Whether she's my grandmother, my great grandmother.
One way
She's
or
mom.
another.
She's mom. So,
So yeah. Where were we? The music thing.
Yeah.
And then I was looking to do masters. So I figured, okay, let me just do this masters as I'm thinking about what I need to do afterwards. But at that time, I was also still, singing and all that. So I decided to do a masters in international business management,
Oh, okay.
and that was in Manchester.
So you failing the first year did not have any effect on you doing the masters?
No,
You managed to pick up.
I managed to pick up. I passed with the honors because I had to change into now business studies.
Oh.
And then that was the only way I could save that situation.
Oh, okay.
And then, so I decided to do
International
business management. So when I was doing that, I did it in Manchester Metropolitan University.
This is old money,
Man,
bro.
because I'm wondering, what people you've been everywhere.
Like I'm so sad right now because I've applied to Manchester to do my master's.
You get it.
And it's crazy. No, it wasn't. It wasn't as easy as he's making it look.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy.
Money open
No, but
doors.
you're forgetting that part where he said, yeah, mom was like, fuck shit, let me just pay for this.
No, but like I'm saying, my mom was also
right?
willing to pay for it, but getting there was not easy.
It's difficult.
It's not actually easy because she was so willing. She had the money and everything.
Which uni was it? Manchester Met or
Rochester Institute.
Manchester Uni.
It was called Rochester Institute of Technology.
Oh, Rochester.
Yeah.
Okay,
What's with you guys and education?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
As in,
Me, I was doing it. I was literally doing it to pass time.
really?
Yeah, because I just didn't
That's
know
why
what
you
I
were
want to do.
studying
Yeah.
to
I
pass
just-
time.
Literally.
Really?
I didn't know what I
blessed
wanted
are
to do with my
Right?
life.
Blessed
So I
are
studied.
thee. Men are
Hey.
so lucky. You have time to pass. So you decided to go in for education. I was
Yeah.
doing it because I
Yeah.
wanted to actually earn more money than what I was earning.
That's honest.
But did that help?
That's honest.
Do you think that helps?
No, did I? I
Man,
didn't
me, my
actually.
master's like
I feel like because I was. Let's finish.
You are
Okay.
weird.
Let's
We'll
first finish
come
your
to you.
conversation. So, after doing your
Yeah,
master's.
so when I was doing my master's, I remember that time I used to, when I would come to Kenya, I would train, my friends.
Mm-hmm.
I would also train my family, like my sister especially.
So how often did you come back?
I was a summer bunny, so I'd come back
Mm.
December, just major holidays, right? So yeah, I remember I was talking to my sister and I was like, man, I'm trying to figure out like what I'm gonna do with my life or what I need to do, because the master's is just 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
Then she's like, yo, you're usually good at training people.
Yeah.
Why not, figure out something along those lines?
Okay.
And I was like, you know
That's
what?
a very good idea.
Yeah, it's a good idea because the things that I'm doing here,
Mhm.
if I was doing it in the UK or
Manchester.
US or all those other places, it's so lucrative. Like
Yeah.
here, obviously, because I was starting something new, it was it's pretty much pioneering something that hasn't been introduced into the country just yet.
Before
It's
you
tougher.
said no one was training before you said
People were doing. There was gym instructors. There wasn't many personal trainers, if any.
Yeah.
Because that concept, when I came to Kenya with that concept, gyms were looking at me like,
But what's the
what?
difference?
So-
Me, I've never seen the door of a gym
But-
my entire life. So what's the difference
Like-
between
So,
an instructor
so gym instructor is someone who's hired by the gym,
okay.
right? And is there to instruct individuals on different machinery, what to use, how to use it, ABCD, right?
Is that answer questions like a lifeguard?
Yeah, but a
Okay.
personal trainer, that's someone who first it's like comparing like a nurse and a doctor.
Okay, so
Do you understand?
who's
So
the
a personal trainer,
personal trainer is the
So a
doctor.
personal trainer has to understand
What you
everything
want.
about you
Okay.
as an individual. He's taking you through
A journey.
your journey.
Yeah.
Exactly. So he has to understand every single thing about you. And I remember there was an interview that I did and I talked about he has to also understand even your your cycle, your menstrual cycle and all that. And people went in on me. But it's actually
the
true.
truth. Yeah.
You have to understand each and everything about you.
How does abs and me kunyesha?
Because remember, on the days of your cycle, on the day you have your cycle, you're going to have cravings. You're going to your
Definitely.
hormones
Play a huge part.
different. Because remember, this trainer is supposed to, your personal trainer is going to tell you, okay, so on this day, eat proteins. We're going to eat eggs. We're going to eat this. We're going to eat this.
Yeah.
Then if they tell you to eat something like that on a day where you're having sugar cravings, and your periods are tomorrow,
Yes.
you're not going to eat that.
Yes.
And it's not going to work out for them because they get their money after you've actually achieved your result.
Yes.
You see, like Megan the side, and you've seen her personal trainer.
Yeah, but ebuni kuulize, so what if you see, let's say you're my personal trainer, you tell me, you know what, Kalala, look, you cannot be drinking the way you drink, you cannot be smoking, la 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 la.
Yeah.
And I still go ahead, I'm like, I hear you, Frankie, but then I go and drink and I smoke.
Yeah.
So eventually I don't achieve what I'm looking for.
Yes.
No, but
you're still getting paid.
But that's your choice.
No.
I'm
Frankie,
weak. I'm weak.
Frankie, I feel like you're not getting it because the personal trainers I've had, they have not come to me as, oh, Christine, stop drinking.
No.
They have not told me that. They can't. That's a gym instructor. They're going to tell you, don't drink.
Boil your food.
They're just going to give you bland out instructions. But this person is going to understand your lifestyle.
Literally have to understand that person's
they have to
lifestyle.
go into your life and see how best to make you lose weight in your lifestyle. They're going to know, okay, Christine,
What's your fella?
Of course.
Like Christine, you're a host. You drink every night. Let's say you drink 4 nights in a week. Is there any way we can make sure on the 4th night when you're not drinking, you eat this?
Yes.
Then when you're not eating this, you try these workouts. Or if you're so lazy, because my personal trainer understood the fact that I hated mornings because you cannot wake me up and tell me to go and exercise and I'm going to function the whole day.
Yeah.
You get. So she's like, okay, so if you don't like mornings, why don't you come in the evening? We try doing some simple things that will make you sleep better, to get rid of your insomnia. They understand you. They understand you to a personal level.
Yeah.
It's like getting a PA, but who understands that you need to hit this to get this result.
You know, not everyone wants to be a bodybuilder. So you can't start training everyone like they should be a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
People have lives that they live in. People just want general wellness.
So someone may come and be like, I want an hourglass figure. I want to make sure my figure, my core is tight, but my arms are smaller and my boobs are firmer, or my bum is less loose. I don't want tight muscles. That is now for a personal trainer to do, but you're not going to go to a gym instructor and be like,
because I remember one time in campus, you know, when you decide, you know what, everybody's going to the gym, let me try it out. So I remember I was in Juja Gate. I don't even want to call that place a gym because it's where the weights are from, like concrete, you know. So this guy looks me in the eyes like, do you smoke? I'm like,
wait, isn't that your former ex's gym? You told me he used to
we are boys flying. This guy walking there, they're like, do you smoke? I'm like, I mean, once in a while, heavily.
Once in a while.
Know? And they're like, so if you want to start working out, you need to stop. I was like, cool. Let me go. I'm coming back.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, it's been 10 years. I'll be back.
You come back.
I'm coming back because
that's different. Because
in the morning you're like this.
Personal instructor is actually very expensive.
Yeah.
You're not going to invest that money and fuck around. You're actually not going to. Because you see, if I'm getting a personal instructor and I'm going to tell him he's going to charge me per month 1,000 USD or even more, I'm not going to be there and like.
Is he buying the food in that $1,000?
No.
He's
just helping you, mate.
So you're buying experience.
Frankie may be a word.
You're buying a skill set.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because the thing is that also one thing about personal instructors, they've been rumored to sleep with their clients. So yes, it's actually a very big rumor. It's actually because remember they stretch you. You know that stretches. You know the stretches you do after. You're a personal, so you know. You know the stretches they make you do. They like make you put your leg this side, and he's like leaning in to make your leg stretch, and you're like, okay, sir.
No, but what is wrong? No, but what's wrong with having not even an affair, sleeping with your personal trainer? What's the problem?
Because some of those women are more
which is.
Let me tell you.
And your personal instructor may have 2 baby mamas waiting for him at home.
Let me tell you the issue. The issue is you build a name for yourself and you don't want to build that name. You become a gigolo. So the ladies will pass you on to their
The next
friends.
fit one.
They'll be like,
because majority of them are going to be like, housewives, rich husbands and stuff like that.
But you see, this is the thing, Sasa, okay, fine. Today I decide, you know what, Frankie, I want to be my personal trainer, all right?
Yeah.
But I find you attractive. Sasa, I just sit there because of professionalism.
Yeah,
but
so
like you're married.
Yeah, fuck my husband.
No, what I would do,
Yeah.
in the situations that I found myself in, I'd be like, and now I'm not talking about people who are married. If you're married, that's a no-go zone.
Yeah, okay.
But if you are an attractive lady and you want me to train you, but then you're having, advances on me, I'll tell you, pick one. Whether fucking or I'm training you. Decide.
Fuck the training.
So,
Fuck the training. Take it off.
No,
You should also know it's so hard to
those
find
are the
a nice
conversations
personal
we have.
trainer. It's very, very
What do you mean?
hard. Because I've gotten a couple, I've gotten two. But the first one I tried advances. And it's so crazy because you're trusting this person with your life routine. You're trusting this person with your metabolism. You're trusting them with your life. They're coming to your home. They are seeing how you're working out. They are
your
training
stories
you,
as
your
well, because you're going to tell him everything.
You're going to tell him everything.
Is
because you
that
have to
not
be
the
honest.
perfect person to fuck?
Actually, it's the worst.
It's the worst person.
Because I mean, you know me, you understand you understand how I
It's
function.
the
I mean,
worst.
unanijua.
So what happens when you have your cute boyfriend? You're tall, cute.
Why is he not a
nice.
personal trainer? Bro, change your job description. Because understand this. You cannot call yourself a personal trainer kama ukae vizuri. Let's agree. You have to look nice, okay?
Sure.
Because I'm not about to be calling
Really,
you my
I've
personal
seen
trainer
personal
and
trainers
you're
that
fat.
don't look nice.
in the
No,
face
not
or in the
fat.
body.
No, I'm
In
saying
the
like
face.
In the face, that's different.
Face, that's different. That's something God given, okay?
Yeah.
Either you're pretty or you're not. So physically, you're not about to be 99 kilograms all carrying in your stomach and then
But
you have
Karala, you look at the face. I don't know why you're having this
the lights
argument.
are off. Look. Like, all I'm
You
saying
look
is
at
this.
the face.
Wait, this person is physically attractive. They are physically fit. They are mentally together. You know.
And they're
they
listening
understand
to you.
and they're listening to your shit religiously.
And you guys have the same sex drive, not
you
that.
know, but perfect. So why are we
Hey,
sitting
do you
down?
know how many girlfriends I'd have?
Do you know how many?
No, I'm
but
saying
you've
girlfriend.
had them.
I'm not saying
so.
girlfriend. I'm saying ni kugonga too. Like, bruh.
But Frankie, as a personal trainer in that position, because as a host, when I was a host in bars, it puts in a position where you know that hosts in bars normally because when you're hosting you have to put on
Yes.
short stuff.
Yeah, you have to look up.
They'll be
some
like,
other way.
a host in a bar has to, entertain men.
Yeah.
You have to like sleep with one or two. You're one of your greatest customers. And trust me, I told myself I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to still have the best nights. You get, but it reaches a point in time where your competition, your other hosts
They're going low.
are showing you that I'm gonna open that leg, and you're saying
That's the issue now.
I'm not gonna open these. So it puts you back in the position where you have to actually decide.
So, Frank, everybody you've trained, Maze, you've never wanted to kuonga. If I'm not
No,
saying
no,
to
no,
have a
no.
relationship, just to like.
No, I'm not saying that. No, of course I did. I wanted.
But I think it also
No, I didn't.
the
Why?
additive for Frankie
Because I knew what that would do to me. And then also the good thing about myself at that time, I accessed women at a very early age, right?
Yes, that's what I was going to
So
say.
I had
He had
my
seen a
fair share
variety.
of.
Yeah, he had.
So by the time I
I
was coming back to Kenya, I was like, what, 24, 23, 24? I had already experienced everything. So
his body count was past 100.
100,
No, like past the limit.
that's chump change. 100. So by that time, I was like, I was so aware of.
Yeah.
You understand?
There's
I was so
nothing new
aware.
you're going to
You're
There's
not-
nothing
you're not
new.
getting
So
excited about
I
it.
decided when I came back, actually my first mission was I need to get into a relationship because that's going to ground me.
I've never
That's
had
gonna
a guy
put
say
me-
that. Say it again.
But
Yeah,
it did
that's what's
help.
gonna ground me.
It
Say
did.
it again.
You see, that was the perception that I had. That was the perception that I had. I figured that if I do get into a relationship, it's going to ground me. It's going to allow me
Did
to
it,
focus
though?
on. Now in hindsight,
No. Did it?
He did not.
Did it?
now in hindsight,
Did it
no.
actually limit you? That's what we're not asking about how you feel about it now. We're asking, did it actually work? It's like, did you take the Panadol and it worked? Did you actually get a girlfriend and it helped you?
So the Panadol created another headache.
Oh my God, Frankie! when you decided that you wanted to get a girlfriend and come back and, have your career with a girlfriend, what were you looking for since you had tasted all these
waters?
The sandy. So I was looking for someone who, one is driven, because I'm driven as well.
Yeah.
So my intentions
the lawyers.
Yes, of course. My intentions were to build with someone, right? That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to build with someone. Someone who would build with me as well. I think I didn't know exactly the direction that this thing that I was doing was going to take. For me, I looked at it as a business, right? And that's why I would say for me, I actually perceive myself as an entrepreneur rather than an influencer, because I started off as a business, right? I created Just Gym It for it to run as a business. But then it was just that because I used social media to market it, took me to that side of, influencing, right? So I can't say I was looking for someone who can understand my industry, because I didn't even understand it. Social media was actually still fresh at that time in Kenya, right? It wasn't a thing yet. So I wasn't going to say, all the issues and problems that stems from social media, the advances from different women, the controversies on social media, the, posting with different influencers, how that can affect, your relationship. I never really thought about that.
It did?
There are certain situations where it did, yeah, certain situations where it did. So those are things that I didn't really take into consideration. I'm running a business. Now, it worked up until I started getting famous. Then it stopped working, because those challenges now pop their head out.
Yeah.
You think that's why it stopped working, or it's like
no. This is part of it. It's not the only thing. It's part of it. It's just other things and a whole bunch of other things which stemmed from that. But yeah.
So when you became famous as Just Gym It, what age was that?
20. I started like, because we did the whole Just Gym It thing, start influencing, but it wasn't like I didn't get like crazy numbers. Crazy numbers come with controversy, right?
Yeah,
so at that time I was doing great. Like people used to just, oh, wow, this is amazing, all that.
Yeah.
So it grew, but it didn't grow to that point where it was crazy by the age of maybe like 26, around that. And then we opened up our first YouTube channel. Yeah.
By we, you mean you and
my first
baby mama.
I don't even want to use baby mama, but yes. First mother of my children.
Your first love, okay.
Well, like, no first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unajaribu kucheza safe.
When you decided to start a YouTube page with her.
Yeah, we started a YouTube channel. It's called Alpha Beta. And
I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry if it's so deep. Did you talk about marriage this entire time?
Yeah, we used to talk about it. Yeah,
did you promise her marriage?
We were about to get married. I got engaged to her. I went down on one knee.
Shut up.
I went down on one knee on my son's first birthday.
Oh my God. And then?
And then it didn't happen. What do you mean? But we went, we did the whole thing. There was a point where we almost, like, we went to the AGs and all that. Oh, you should see the one which I did with the second mother of my children.
Bro, you proposed to two shorties.
Twice?
Yeah.
So,
what?
I feel like you are the problem.
With Corazon's was beautiful. There's a video I've posted on.
If there's a woman out there and you want to have Frankie's baby, get married fast.
I'm a serious guy, man. I'm a serious guy.
Get married fast, because he has a tendency of backing out after proposal.
You know?
What?
So these are two rings, or you use the same ring because you could be a corny-ass
madness.
motherfucker.
No.
His mother was in the UN. Please.
Oh, so it's two rings. Na hizo pete ziko wapi sahi?
I have one of them.
You fucking weak ass bitch. Why would you take it back?
It was given back.
Na ukachukua.
What am I supposed to do?
Don't take it back.
No. The baby mamas are empowered. Leave them.
The other one probably is in a toilet somewhere.
Let me tell you, I am definitely choosing to think that is not me. Because that is not me. So I think about some other chick somewhere in the toilet somewhere.
No.
The most interesting part is that if someone asked, I've actually been engaged twice. So if someone asked me to, let's get married, you've bent on one knee and you've given me the ring, everything you've given me from the beginning of the relationship is mine. It's mine. So I can choose to throw it.
Yes.
Because I will throw it. I won't want you saying, oh, Christine took my ring because she wanted to keep it and stuff. I don't want that.
Yeah.
But I want you to know that you're not going to have it back either.
So
all of us are going to lose from
that's
it.
okay.
If I can't have it, nobody can.
Nobody can.
That's okay. But if it was given back,
don't take it, bro.
But don't take it.
Because let me tell you,
you've given it to someone, so don't take it back.
I believe
it's given back. You say,
you know what?
It's okay. You can keep it.
Yeah.
No,
so you're keeping it for what? To give it to another woman?
Listen. No. You'll give it to me if we ever do solve whatever's happening. You don't take it back?
No.
Because I don't believe
given.
this. Any woman
because
who is over
given,
this man
and it
who
got given
proposed,
back.
she would not even have the time of day to come and look for you to give it. She would throw
back
it
to
away.
you. Yeah, and move
tell it to a pawn shop.
on.
But then if I pull up to your door like,
have this back. That means she still loves you. She still loves you. You know what? Let's have some breakup.
But I have it.
Wow.
Still have it. I'll keep it.
How much?
How much is it?
It was enough.
I mean, the mother's.
But I can keep it for you
enough.
safely.
No.
There's space in my house.
So that's
So what are you going to say about your childhood impact on your life?
Man, everything.
Everything. I see.
I've moved around by myself for a very long time.
I don't know what made you think you'd want. What made you? I don't know what made these women think that someone who has grown up in ideology of having a 2-year change of scenery, change of life, change of... Do you know what it means? You know, change is actually a big thing.
That shit is
because he has changed his life in so many aspects, so many different times. He's so used to change right now. So you're going to think that you're the one who's going to make him settle
sit down
for 10, 20 years? I don't understand how women actually reason about this because if you came to me, Frankie, and told me this story, I would not, okay, Frankie is just up for let's fuck. But Frankie is not going to be the person who I'm going to be and I'm going to settle in my head, oh, Frankie, give me some babies. Okay. No, I'm not going to.
At this point, you don't know where the jokes stop.
Not in a bad way. Yeah. But like, you would know that this person is not a nomadic person. This person is used to more having international flights, having, moving different races. And if your first taste, like if you're used to vanilla, coming and settling for chocolate, it's going to take a while. Thinking that you're going to be the first chocolate because yours is chocolate, you're going to settle. I don't think it's going to work like that.
No, but you see, you're making it look like people who have Frankie's characteristics do not deserve love.
They don't deserve love.
I'm not saying they don't deserve love. Just
because I've been in 97 countries and I've been fucking around doesn't mean I'm not.
No.
Fuck?
Like, my explanation to that is like, Frankie deserves love, but he deserves love from someone who, like, the guest we had sometime who said the fact of how she has moved around from so many places. That's the kind of love Frankie deserves.
And you guys were flaming me for relating with that, but I understand exactly what she's talking about.
Yes, that's the kind of love
I just got to understand it early.
Yeah.
I'm 35, she was 51, but I understand exactly what she's talking about.
Yeah. So it's in a way of like, she had to go through that entire experience. She moved from one country to another for 2 years, 3 years. Why would you settle and think that this person is going to actually settle for me? I'm too special for this person that they're going to choose to have kids instead of actually continuing with their lifestyle. You understand what I'm trying to say? This is something they've been accustomed to. This is how they've grown up. This is how they've been raised. They're not going to wake up and change. It's like a woman saying, I'm going to change a violent man.
I like how you give excuses for men.
Right?
I don't
you really excuse these motherfuckers because let me tell you, if I like Frankie and Frankie wants to tell me let's get married, fine. I'm not gonna be sitting there thinking, you know what, he has fucked white bitches, so I don't think I'm gonna be enough. I can't feel sorry for myself and be like, you know what, it's okay because Frankie has moved from one country to the other. Yes. I need to understand that I can have him, but half-assed, not full-assed because of his experience. Some fucking bullshit.
But it's like,
if you like me, you'll come down and be like, you know what, mama, it's like this.
It's literally the exact explanation if you find a woman who has been, I've seen a girl, I've had a best friend who has moved from rehab to rehab.
All right.
You get, she has had drug intoxication. She has been to a point where she had to be resuscitated because she was almost at the brink of death because of drugs. So imagine you find this person as a best friend. Do you think you're going to find them reliable as someone who, my best friend right now is very reliable. Yeah. But the best friend I had then, it's like, I knew that this person is not going to be reliable. So I knew what to give her and what not to give her.
For sure.
I knew that this person, I'm not going to trust this person with 100% of myself. And as if I give this person 1,000 USD, they may not come back.
For sure.
They may actually walk out the door and say, fuck it, Christine.
Kunda huko ni sherehe sasa.
You get what I'm trying to say? It's like I knew how to go with this person. And actually, she proved me right. How many years later? And my mom used to warn me, don't trust this. And I knew what I was doing at the back of my mind. I helped her knowing that one day, this person was going to stab me. And when she stabbed me, I was not shocked.
Like she stabbed you, Chokola?
She actually, her and her boyfriend planned to rob me.
Wow.
They stabbed you?
Not stab me with...
Stab her in the back.
Friends, sorry.
Yeah. No, it was like in a more of like, they tried to create a whole scene to make it look like we had been robbed. Yet I was the only one who had the most loss in that robbery.
Yeah.
You get... So they made it look like, oh my God, they came into our house and robbed us. Yet they left the DVD player, they left the TV, they took my phone and my money. Am I that dumb?
Yeah,
you get what I'm trying to say?
1 + 1 true, yeah.
They took my money. And then when I comforted her, I told her, you know what? I've been your friend for long. I've done so much for you. So I feel like the least you owe me is the truth. She said, stammering. So it's stammering. And that's how I knew that, you know what? This person actually... You know, and when months later, she actually said, you know what? Yes, he told me if we just get some little money from Christine, she has a rich mother, so it won't hurt her as much. So that's what they had told her. They had made her believe that her situation is worse than me, so she has a right to take some money from me. You get what I'm trying to say?
Crazy.
So, you know, I was mentally prepared already.
Yeah.
So by the day she stole what she stole from me, I had backup. That's what she did not know.
But you see, at the same time, Frankie, I'm sorry, I'm on your side, I'm also against you. When you look at Frankie's situation, don't think that the shorties he's talking about are some shorties who have never left the streets of Nairobi, who are always somewhere waiting for some guy to send them money for fries and bare minimum stupid ass chicken. Like, they're of the same caliber.
The stories we're talking about are women who are empowered women. These are women who are going to hear Frankie's story. That's why I asked him, how many women have heard your story? When I hear his story right now, any woman who's going to hear his story right there on the screen and going to hear every single thing he has said, is going to feel like, oh my God, Frankie deserves love. Frankie deserves to be shown 100% of my, of the good loving, but not knowing that nothing is actually going to change Frankie.
Wait.
No amount of
what?
No amount of love in this world is going to change who Frankie is. No. You get what I'm trying to say?
But you see, with women, they love changing men.
Yes, exactly what I'm trying to tell you. And the women he meets are empowered women who feel like nothing is so much for them. These are lawyers. Do you know what it means to be a lawyer as a woman?
I'm a school dropout.
That means you have actually moved hurdles to get there.
Yeah.
These are women who have actually conquered.
Very smart women.
Hills. You get. So they're going to be like, what is Frankie to me? Can't I conquer this hill? Not knowing that Frankie is a whole ass mountain.
Hey.
You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
These women are going to feel like, you know what? Frankie has gone through, this man has to be empathetic enough. You see the difference in a woman who has gone through so much and a man who has gone through so much?
Yeah.
The woman who has gone through so much is going to be, I don't know, more empathetic. But a man who has gone through so much is going to be like, fuck it.
Yeah.
That's why I say, whichever woman gets me, deserves me.
Ndavunja hizo mikono.
It's the saddest part about the whole question is that Frankie thinks he's the prize. That is the saddest.
I'm the award.
Okay.